And the handoff to the second man through is Theron Hayes, and he is met immediately. Delaware State. LeBrant, Robinson, Charles Loney, two of the men up front to meet him. Let's look at the Delaware State defense. They have a junior and a sophomore up front. They play more or less what they call a 4-4 or a split 4 with 4 linebackers with Bertram Chu as you look at the 4 down men. Robinson, Loney, Candeloro, and Presbury. There's Chu, Coppage, Williams, and Bryant. It is second down, 10 yards to go. And the handoff to Scott, trying to turn the corner. And he still struggles for about 6 yards out to about the 20-yard line. It'll be third down and 4. The stop made by Billy Austin, a senior cornerback from Seaford, Delaware, along with number 56, Kevin Bryant, a junior from Passaic, New Jersey.
Not too bad a defense thus far early going. The first series, they've allowed them 4 yards per carry on the first 2 rushes, Charlie, and we know that they have a potent offense, and I think over the season, I think defense may have been what's been suspect.
It is third down and about 4. Play action. Tap wants to pass. Rolls left. Throws. It's intercepted on the far sideline, right at the 35-yard line by Bertram Chu. And Chu, 7th interception in the season. He leads the MEAC in that department.
Charlie, a clearly underthrown pass intended on a post-corner pattern to Carnell Swain. And Taps, as we had a chance to watch him in pregame warm-up, wasn't throwing the ball with that much efficiency, and here it's clearly underthrown, at least about 5 yards.
That is his 4th interception of the year. Now let's watch the running attack of Delaware State. They will start Jerome Baker at quarterback tonight.
Delaware State.
This is Comer, and Comer carries the ball down to about the 30-yard line. Eldridge Comer, 4th leading scorer in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, a senior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. As you look at the Delaware State offensive line that averages 245, a senior, 3 juniors, and a freshman up front. In the backfield, instead of Walker, it'll be Baker at quarterback, Henry, Comer, along with Hoover. Hoover will not play. Reggie Barnes will start at the fullback. Hoover did not make the trip. Arthroscopic knee surgery, was injured in their last outing against Towson State. Straight ahead to Reggie Barnes, the fullback. The freshman from Philadelphia came into the game with 393 yards rushing, averaging 6.4 yards per carry. As you look at the Southern University defensive line that averages 245 with a senior, one junior rather, a sophomore and a freshman up front. There's the linebackers, and the secondary, a good group. Their defense has recorded 18 quarterback sacks this season. And here's the quarterback, Baker, rolling right, has running room, slips down, and is close to a first down. Depending on where they spot the ball, his knee went down just shy of the 25-yard line. So to bring up a 4th down and about 2.
Good call. His knee did hit the ground, and that's what the official is marking the forward progress, and it'll bring up a 4th and about 1. But a good play. Quarterback Jerome Baker fakes one way, keeps the ball. Offensive guard is out front pulling. Downs. He slips here. The knee did hit the ground, as to why we have a 4th and long 1.
They're going to go for it on 4th down, and they hand off to Comer. Comer has the first down, and he's down to the 17-yard line. Eldridge Comer on the carry picks up the first down to the 17-yard line. Watch it.
Well, get a chance to watch it again. Chris Scott ends up making the tackle. Almost a companion play to the one ran on 3rd down, where the quarterback ends up missing it. Chris Scott on the tackle, number 49, however. 1st and 10 had been gained with extra yards. Ball's inside the 20-yard line. Mark at the 17, 1st and 10.
Chris Scott was the SWAC Defensive Player of the Week after his fine performance against Tennessee State a week ago. On the exchange goes to Dwayne Henry, and Henry takes it down inside the 5, where it'll be First down and goal. Delaware State. As you look at the stats on Dwayne Henry out of Smyrna, Delaware, a senior, averaging 4.8 yards per carry. Had a 90-yard run earlier this year. In fact, in their last outing against Towson State. As you look at Bill Collick, their first-year head coach. First and goal, Delaware State inside the 5. And they shift. A lot of movement back there. This time it's Comer again, turning it in, and he slips. And he is down at about the 3. Gus Miles got a hand on him, number 97.
Well, it's a couple of slips we've noted thus far in this possession by Delaware State. And I want to remind a lot of people that the field is not in the best of conditions. They had a high school game here just last evening.
Even worse than that, after their last home game here, it rained tremendously. And some of the students came out and had a mud game here, so that didn't help conditions much.
Certainly didn't.
It is second and goal at the 3-yard line for Delaware State. Bryant goes on the wing to the left. Quarterback keeper. He should get in. 6 points for Delaware State. Baker on the keeper, and it is his 4th touchdown rushing of the year. So that didn't take him long.
Certainly didn't. Fake the middle play here. Fake end around here. He keeps the ball. He has no block out in the front of him. A gutsy call. May have been a call.
Toll free to order by credit card. You get 1, 2, 3 Beat Magic Wands, 100 fashion beads and stoppers, step-by-step fashion guide, our giant Beat Crazy catalog, and this styling video, all for $19.95, plus a special discount on our 450-piece rainbow collection.
Call 1-800-862-0300. Sorry, no CDs.
It's the world's greatest super friends, Batman and Robin, Superman, Wonder Woman and Aquaman, the Wonder Twins, banded together to protect the universe from the forces of evil, the Super Friends. Dedicated to truth, justice, and peace.
And an interception normally results into a 5-point margin, so they are very important.
Southern is +6 in the turnover takeaway department as Scott gets the call. Scott turns it up and it gets 5 out to the 25. 5 yards for Scott. Joe Burton on the stop for the Hornets of Delaware State. Burton out of Newcastle, Delaware, a junior. First team all-conference a year ago. Second down and 5 for the Jaguars of Southern University. They break the huddle. A.J. Martin comes to the near side. Connell Swain is to the far side. Handoff again. And it's Scott. First down, and Scott is out to the 35. Fumble the ball.
Southern.
And it'll be Southern's ball because they say that the Delaware State player never had complete possession of it. Boy, they got lucky that time.
Yes. Good pursuing defense here. They had it snuffed down at the point of attack. Scott, with his elusive running, he slid through, but here's the ball being stripped right now by number 56.
Kevin Bryant.
Kevin Bryant, a linebacker again. It just took an unfavorable bounce for Delaware State and a lucky bounce for Southern as they retained possession. Ball inside the 35, mark at about the 36.
Kill yourself with turnovers. 9 minutes remaining, first quarter, 7-0 Delaware State. Darren Hayes, the lone setback. It's Ron Scott coming in motion. There's a flag. We may have delay of game. And that's what it'll be against the Jaguars of Southern University, first penalty flag of the ball game. The officials are out of the Southland Conference. They're neutral officials. And here's our referee, Ray Clark, to tell us that it's delay of game.
5 yards. So it's now 1st and 15. The Jaguars from their own 30.5.
So it is 1st and 15 as you look at Otis Washington. His team off to a 5-3 record. They lost their opening game to Mississippi Valley and then won 4 straight. They lost 2 of their last 3, came up with a big win over Tennessee State a week ago, a team they hadn't beaten since 1969. 1st and 15, Scott in motion, tap rolling left, throws, has Scott out there but overthrew him at the 40-yard line. He is 0 for 2 in the passing department. 1 interception, and this one incomplete.
Well, again, Charlie, normally, you know, we talked last week about Tennessee State. A lot of coaches refer to Tennessee State as being one of the finest warm-up teams that they've ever had a chance to see. Well, again, it does say a lot about a player, how he warms up during pregame warm-up. And again, I'm going to allude back to this point. Watching taps in pregame warm-up, he wasn't throwing with any type of efficiency whatsoever.
Well, they still have Irvin Bennett, the more experienced quarterback. Tap is a freshman. Tap going to pass again. Has time, throws, intercepted, throwing right into coverage, and this time it's Dan Coppage picking it off, and Coppage is down to the 20-yard line. So 2 interceptions on 2 successive drives. Here's Coppage with his interception.
I don't want to burden the fact, Charlie, but here it is again. He's got time. He's setting up. There's just a lineman with just a little bit of hand in his face in that throwing lane, but again, it wasn't that much of a distraction that'll make him impair his vision where he's throwing just right into coverage. Dan Coppage picks it off, returns it inside the 20, mark at the 19.5-yard line, 1st and 10.
He was trying to hit Farrington Johnson, but as you said, he tried to force it in there, and there were linebackers all over the place. Well, we got illegal motion. Someone on the right side of the line moved for Delaware State. I believe it was the tight end, Desmond Wynn, who moved a little prematurely for the Hornets. So they'll pick up their first penalty of the ball game. He was a little anxious. That'll move the ball back to the 25-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 15.
When a tight end normally jumps offside, it either means he's got to get to the other side of the line of the scrimmage on the other end and make a desperate block, or he's the intended pass receiver.
And a handoff to Barnes, Reggie Barnes, number 30, on the carry. Barnes picks up about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 12. Barnes, a freshman out of Philadelphia, 6.4 yards per carry. It's ironic when you look at the averages of the running backs, the average per carry, how many yards they have been averaging. Hoover, who is not playing, averaged 8 yards per carry, which is tops in the nation, one of the tops in the nation. Quarterback keeps it, Baker, and he's dropped at the 20-yard line. Back to the original line of scrimmage, where it'll be 3rd down and 10, Delaware State.
One thing about a wing T such as this formation, Charlie, they open it up. They open up the offense with the run because they have a great tandem in the backfield, but even more impressively, with Delaware State having this great All-American candidate in John Taylor, they both sort of complement each other.
But they don't throw to him that much. It's ironic that he's in an offense like this. He would be best suited in a passing type offense, and you can really exploit his talents.
Mississippi Valley.
Yes, indeed. And Mitch Livings on the stop of Reggie Barnes. So it'll bring up a 4th down, and we'll see the place kicker come on, and that is David Parkinson. Parkinson is 5 of 9 in the field goal department this year. His longest of 37. The 4 that he did not make were all blocked, and they were not his fault. It was a breakdown up front.
I can see why. We had a chance to watch this young man kicking field goals in excess of 50 yards doing pregame warm-up. So he's got a great leg, and it may boil down to the special team place kickers later tonight.
33-yard field goal attempt. It's up, and it is good. So Parkinson makes it a 10-0 ball game with a 33-yard field goal. And with 6:44 remaining in the first quarter of play here from Mumford Stadium in Baton Rouge, the Hornets are leading the Jaguars.
Nobody has a tougher position than a pro defensive back, and nobody sweats more. But I don't shower with deodorant soap because I made a break from that stuff. A clean break with Ivory. Look, what you see is basic natural soap, and what you get is an honest clean. Some soaps cover you with smelly perfumes or deodorants. That stuff doesn't get you clean. Ivory makes me feel clean and smell clean. That's an honest clean.
Make a clean break with Ivory. No soap can get you cleaner, no matter who you're up against.
Introducing something new and rather amazing. A super high-octane gasoline with twice the detergent it had before to give you a plus. A detergent strong enough to actually clean dirty fuel injectors to give your car power and performance it didn't have before. New Mobile Super Unleaded, high-octane with a plus.
Monday, sunshine, mostly clear and breezy. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, still.
You want every day to be your best. So does Esquire magazine. That's why every issue brings you the information you need to stay on the leading edge. Esquire helps you look your best with meaningful fashion reports. Esquire helps you get more out of life and your personal relationships. Esquire gives you an edge in business, from your investments to your career. Every month, there's more for you in Esquire. Call now and we'll send you a year of Esquire. 12 issues for only $11.95. That's a 60% savings off the regular cover price and $5.99 less than the basic subscription rate. You'll also receive Esquire's exclusive guide to health and fitness, A Man's Body, free with your paid subscription. If you want to make the most of your career, your relationships, your money, your leisure, call now to save 60% on Esquire and get a free copy of A Man's Body. Esquire, your edge.
As you look at the scoring drive, 15 yards, 217, the 33-yard field goal by Parkinson, 6:44, the time remaining here in the first quarter of play. And there's the average scoring margin by Delaware State. They're averaging 33 points per game. That is the Hornets of Delaware State. Their opponents, 18.8. As you look at David Parkinson, the freshman out of Philadelphia, that's Ron Scott, the return man for Southern University, who's second in the conference in kickoff returns, averaging 30 yards per return, but he has not been able to get a hold of the ball. They've been kicking to the up man, Brent Washington. This is his third return, and he's out to the 29-yard line.
That makes it pretty even for David Parkinson. He haven't really hit one yet, nor have any of the receivers felt one cleanly for Southern University. That's
Certainly
Brent
has.
Washington's third attempt to try and grab that pigskin and was unable to, and it sort of stalls the kickoff return effort as they do get it out to about the 29-yard line on that attempt.
First down and 10 for the Jaguars of Southern. They're still going with Algie Tapp. But if he throws another one, needless to say, the chain will come out.
He'd be yanked. It's the same situation we talked about with the coach of Delaware State about Baker. If he didn't perform well, he had no reservations in bringing in Walker.
Well, there's Scott, Ron Scott. One thing, as we mentioned earlier, that Otis Washington would like to establish in this contest is the running game, because they were not able to establish it against Tennessee State a week ago, but their defense played so superbly.
Yes,
they were held to a minus 35 yards rushing. That is Southern University, but they can get that running game going, open up the passing game a little bit. But they're down 10-0 right now. And they have a second down facing them, 8 yards to go. Mix up in the backfield, but Scott has it. He's in trouble, and he's back to the 30-yard line, and that is it. The first man to hit him and slow him up was Robert Pressbury, the second-year man out of Aberdeen, Maryland. LeBron Robinson finally made the stop, number 95.
It's a great defensive effort. As you mentioned, it was somewhat of a backfield mix-up, sort of slowed things down for the offense, gave the defense a chance to pursue. Great team defense as they end up losing about 3 of those yards that they had gained originally. It's back to 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10, another passing situation facing the Jaguars of Southern.
Well, Coach Washington's a little tense now. Tapp's got to throw again.
And the pressure's coming. Screen being set up. He gets it off incomplete there, and Robinson can't handle it.
Tapp is down now.
And Tapp is down back at the 10-yard line. They set up the screen, but I'll tell you, it was a little slow developing. By the time that they got it going, as you look at John Candeloro going off the field, a big fellow at 280 pounds. But as I said, by the time they did get the screen set up, it took so long to develop that everybody knew what was happening.
It did take a long time to develop, and I think because if we had a chance to see it again, Delaware State may have been in a blitz. Taps had to retreat for his life, and as a result then, the screen was somewhat diagnosed by the defense, and the left side had reacted quite well. Let's see if it's a blitz.
They're coming. Well, they allowed him. They tried to sell him a bill of goods.
Certainly did. Almost a defensive stunt, maybe some type of stunt on the line, and
that was Candelaro.
Candelaro was in there with a great deal of pressure. Ball thrown. It should have been caught. Hayes couldn't come up with it.
So Tapp is out right now under his own power. Meanwhile, Lance Hughes, 19th in the nation and 2nd in the SWAC in punting with a 40.3 average, is back to do the honors.
Hope he gets a good one. We're going to have Gumbo at his house.
Off the side of his foot, does not take a Southern bounce. It is returned on the far sideline, and this could go all the way. Lance Hughes is the only man down there. It'll be 6 points, and it's Bertram Chu on the return. So Chu has been the all-star in this game so far. An interception and then the punt return for a touchdown. 51 yards. They call him a linebacker, but don't believe it.
No, it wasn't. There it was, Charlie. He gathers it just at the 51-yard line, and he scampers into the end zone virtually untouched. A great convoy of blockers out front. Lance, the punter, is the only man between Chu and the goal line, and as a result, Chu gets in for another 6 points.
And Parkinson for the point after play action. They are going for the fake, the 2-point conversion.
Baker.
May have been a bad snap, but he will not get in. Baker was the holder, and he will not get in. But nevertheless, it's 16-0 with 4:37 remaining in the first quarter in favor of the Hornets of Delaware State. Ironically, this is the last home game right here at Mumford Stadium this year for the Hornets. We'll be back.
By the time I hit the field, I've already worked overtime. Studying films of the guy across the line 4 hours a night. Because I believe in doing my homework. And people wonder how come I'm always in the right place at the right time.
When the heartburn and the upset give you grief, reach for the Pepto. It's America's relief.
Pepto-Bismol is all you need, as it coats and relieves heartburn, upset stomach, even diarrhea.
Reach for the only one you need. Reach for the Pepto. It's America's relief.
Reach for Pepto.
It's America's relief.
Well, here's a way not to play or cover a punt return. Everybody was just looking for the ball to continue to roll forward or roll to the sideline, and nobody really committed themselves toward Chu, who was the return man, and as a result, a 51-yard punt return for the touchdown.
What we didn't see was the ball bounce. Everybody kind of stood around and watched the ball bounce, thinking that they were going to just watch it roll down and have it roll dead. Bertram Chu said, not today.
No. Great heads-up play.
Parkinson with another line drive kick. Brent Washington fields it at the 10. Out to the 20, 25, and stumbles across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Brent Washington on the return, so it's the 4th offensive possession for Southern 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. They trail 16-0. And Delaware State has had the ball only 2 offensive plays. Actually, they have not really had an offensive drive. To be honest with you, they've had each time they've had the ball was a result, the first 2 times, of turnovers, interceptions, and they ran a punt back for a touchdown.
So each of the 3 relinquishing of the possessions of down by 7, Delaware State has scored. Touchdown, field goal, and now another touchdown on the punt return.
Algie Tapp still in at quarterback for the Jaguars. This is Scott. Scott is met at the 30-yard line. Andre Williams, the linebacker, number 94, junior out of Newark, New Jersey, who's also the long snapper on their special teams, made the stop. A pickup of about 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7. The ball resting just outside the 30 at the 31-yard line. Swain comes to the sidelines. Brent Washington is in at 1 receiver. Barrington Johnson at the other. Backs a split. And it's Scott on the carry. Scott having problems trying to turn the corner. Pressbury, one of the men on the stop, along with Andre Williams, number 94.
Great defensive play then on the right side for the Delaware State Hornets. Good force, good field, good containment. As a result, maybe a yard gain by Scott. 3rd down, about 7.
I think he just about got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. It is 3rd and 7. Another obvious passing situation. Connell Swain is to the near side. Barrington Johnson to the far side. Tap back to pass. Decides to keep it and run with it. Will not get the first down. Will be stopped at the 34-yard line. That'll be another punting situation, and Lance Hughes will come on to do the honors. So, 2 interceptions, 2 punts. Coppage on that last stop. Lance Hughes is back to do the punting.
Bad snap. Resulting to another score.
He should run it out of the end zone. Safety. That's right. That's the best way to do it. Not let them get the ball. And now a safety. Bad snap. Everything is going wrong for Southern tonight.
Speak of Murphy's Law.
And the man who made the stop in the end zone for Delaware State was Derek Andrews, number 90.
Speak of Murphy's Law, every possession of downs that Southern University have had the ball, it's ended up into a score for Delaware State.
And he was consoling the man who made the snap, and that was Derek Fox. We'll be back.
I thought I had it all together. They told me my toothpaste would help fight cavities, remove plaque, everything. So I waltzed in here, Mr. Confident. I was so shocked when the dentist started scraping and scraping. And what? Tartar. Nobody told me about tartar. But hey, I just found out about Tartar Control Crest in the silver box. With proper brushing and flossing, it helps fight cavities and remove plaque like my old toothpaste. But Tartar Control Crest with Fluorostat does more. It also helps protect your teeth against tartar. Tartar is that hard, crusty stuff that builds up and looks ugly. Only the dentist can remove it. But Tartar Control Crest helps prevent tartar from attaching to your teeth above the gum line. And the next time, the dentist won't have to do as much scraping. I like that. So don't let tartar catch you by surprise. With Tartar Control Crest, you really can have it all together.
Tartar Control Crest. It works harder because it fights tartar.
I have never seen a Southern University team make this many mistakes. 4, which have resulted in 4 scores. And so far, Delaware State has scored in every conceivable way. Field goal, safety, punt return. They have not had a kickoff to return yet.
Certainly haven't. I tell you what, it's self-destruction time almost, but they still can come back, show some character. And it's just been a lackluster offensive effort. As you mentioned, Coach Washington would like to see the running game get back to somewhat of a parity, but they're going to have to show some type of offensive thrust, period. The passing game is broken down. Each time he's tried to pass, resulted in 2 interceptions.
And what's more ironic, when you get a safety, you wind up kicking to the other team. The wind seemed like it held that one up. And this is Taylor. Taylor is on his way. Taylor at the 30. Flag is down. Taylor tripped up over his own man inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. We may see clipping bring that one back, though. But Taylor was off to the races.
Me oh my. I'll tell you what, it's a snake bit situation for Otis Washington and the Jags of Southern University as the All-American candidate John Taylor breaks through, accelerating, makes a nifty move here to avoid a block, and that was a clip right there. Clip was against number 25, I believe, Lee, on Lance. Lance Hughes, the punter, and luckily the ball bobbled loose in after Taylor hit the ground, and the officials say that you can't, the ground can't cause a fumble, but to no avail, the clip nullifies the great run.
Only the third offensive possession of the night for Delaware State. They have 18 points on the board. A touchdown after an interception, a field goal after an interception, a punt return, and a safety. That's how they've scored. So this is their third offensive possession of the night. First down and 10 at their own 45-yard line, the worst field position that they've had. And it is not shabby. Baker keeps it, the quarterback, and he is spun around. And the man who spun him around was Chris Scott, along with Torrin Robinson. But he's out across the 45 to about the 49-yard line. A gain of 4 to be second down and 6 for the Hornets.
I think had Delaware scored on that touchdown by John Taylor, that may have been an all-time record.
Points scored quickly.
Yes.
And ironically, Delaware State has not scored that many points in the first quarter. Here's Baker rolling, wants to throw, sets up, looking for Taylor, overthrown. But we may have a roughing the passer against Mitch Livings. They're going to throw him out the game, maybe. He may be thrown out of the game. Watch the official.
It may be Rich Livings or either Calvin.
Well, let's see who it is. Or Riley McPhee.
McPhee.
Riley McPhee.
Riley McPhee
is being ejected from the game. Let's watch it. It may have been real flagrant, and that's why he's being ejected.
Here's the play pass action from Baker to number 22, Stone. He's got a block right in front of him. Danzy. The ball is thrown. I don't know if that's what they're calling. It was very close, and I would have to say that forward progress is forward motion.
If the only thing, you get maybe roughing the passer, but I didn't see where it was cause for ejection.
No, I don't either. Unless he threw a meat hook, and I didn't see that either. Meat hook is when you throw that big arm.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, and ejection on Riley McPhee, number 99.
Well, in the league, that would cost you
a couple $100 bucks.
Yes, it would. You'd get a greetings from Pete Rozelle on Monday morning.
He's going to get a greeting from someone tonight.
Maybe take his meal ticket.
Illegal motion against the Hornets.
I think Southern's a little baffled here now.
More frustrated than anything. 1:17 remaining first quarter and trailing 18-0. Offense has done nothing, has not even picked up a first down in this ball game. Let's watch it once again. That same play, and let's see if we. This is the illegal motion, and that was on Dwayne Henry, the senior from Smyrna, Delaware. So the ball will be brought back to the 40-yard line. It'll be first down and 15. Bill Collick, his team ahead by 18 points in the first quarter.
Stone.
And that's John Stone on his way, and Stone finally dropped by Frankie Brown, but not before he gets down inside the 15-yard line, or to the 15. Stone, a sophomore from Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, averaging 4.5 yards per carry. We talked about the fact that all of these backs have good per carry averages. Comer, 4.5. Reggie Barnes, 6.4. McGriff, who we haven't seen yet, who had been out with a collarbone injury, number 31, 5.3, and the man who's not here with an 8.1 average. That's a lot of averages per carry.
Shortest carry is 4.5, which is outstanding.
And a reverse by Henry. And Henry is down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line, and he's averaging 4.8 yards per carry. Trot, we haven't seen, is averaging 5.4. There's nobody under a 4.5 average as far as the running backs on this Hornet team.
The wing T is a deadly formation, and especially if you've got great talent in the name of the running backs in which you just mentioned, and their average is true a testament to that. And that's what makes, whenever they do pass, the passing game so effective, because they run the ball a lot.
Second down, 4 yards to go. This time it's Henry again, and Henry on the slant. Thus Miles, one of the men on the stop. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter here from Mumford Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I know they'd like to start this one all over again. Maybe they could start in the second quarter, because Jaguars still haven't done anything in the first quarter. We'll be back.
At Campbell, we think you should get a satisfying meal no matter when you eat.
Good morning, Miller. Good night, Lazinski.
That's why we pack every can of chunky soup with so many big pieces of solid food. Big chunks of beef, chicken, vegetable, even seafood.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. So chunky not only satisfies a hearty appetite.
Dr. Lazinski to OR staff.
It also helps you work up another one. Chunky, the soup that eats like a meal.
You begin with raw steel. Shape it with fire, muscle, and sweat. Polish it to razor-sharp perfection. We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
Well, they're trying to keep the faith. Down 18-0. Still 45 minutes of football left here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But 18-0 is on the scoreboard in favor of a visiting team from Dover, Delaware. The Hornets of Delaware State will lead the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference with a 3-0 record. They're ranked 20th in the nation in Division I AA. 25 touchdowns rushing by the Hornets of Delaware State. Averaging 281 yards rushing per contest.
Resting at the Jaguars 7.
It is third down and 3 at the 7-yard line.
In the run.
And they go to Taylor. He has room. He should get in. 6 points for the Hornets. And for Taylor, that is his second touchdown rushing on that play.
We're getting a chance to see the end around, and Delaware State is just doing about anything they'd like to do to the Southern Jaguar defense right now. Slowly developing, but the men were in good position, good shield off, good key blocks. Taylor gets into the end zone untouched for another 6 points.
Parkinson for the point after. The kick is up. There's flags down. The kick is good. Let's see what the flags are all about.
Well, they opened up the second quarter just as they did the first quarter. Scoring.
First play.
Yes.
14:54. The time remaining. 6 seconds into the second quarter. They're on the board. Apparently, it's going to be against Delaware State. The options are being explained to Jerome Baker. We have offsides.
They'll be assessed on the kickoff.
And they'll be assessed on the kickoff. So the extra point is good. And it's 25-0.
Score Delaware State 25-7-0.
The most points that Southern has given up this year is 27 points. And they did that in a loss to Jackson, 27-9.
Well, another safety will tie that situation. And we know Southern is not as bad as the scores indicated. Offensively, they really haven't been able to get on track.
They certainly haven't. Well, Parkinson, whose leg has been a very active one so far. Field goal, a couple of extra points.
He's been in all the scores except for the safety.
It certainly has. As you look at the drive, 55 yards, 5 plays, 207. And that is the
Offside goal against 7 from the field goal. I mean, the extra point.
second real offensive drive that they had. One resulted in a field goal by that man. As you look at Ron Scott, 14:54 remaining second quarter. Parkinson has been kicking nothing but line drives. This one's another one.
No different. Same man.
Brent Washington from the 9-yard line. Washington out across the 20 to the 23, 24-yard line. That's where Southern will go to work, first down and 10. Well, they have been making sure that they haven't kicked to the dangerous return man, Ron Scott. We talked about Scott being second in the conference in kickoff returns with a 30.4 average, 30.4 return average. He has not had a chance to get his hands on the ball. Brent Washington has been doing all the returning, and it's been effective so far.
Parkinson has been split kicking each of his kickoffs, and it seemed like Southern would try and form some type of return for that if they know that they're going to continue to kick away from Scott being number 2 in conference.
And he'll kick it out of the end zone, probably. Here's Scott with the carry, and Scott is out across the 25 to about the 27-yard line.
Scott carried.
Gain of about 3. It'll be second down and 7. That's Doug Williams you're looking at. Works with the quarterbacks here. And sure he's had some things to say to Algie Tapp to try to calm him down.
Yeah, things like, give me your jersey, let me go in there and throw the ball.
Sure. Otis wish he could go in there and throw the ball. Probably would suit you up if you could. How much eligibility do you have left?
None, I tell you.
0 for 4 for Tapp in the passing department. 2 interceptions. Scott in motion. Tapp trying to get it to Scott, but the pressure was on.
Tapp's pass intended.
Otis looks calm on the outside.
They're boiling over on the inside.
No question.
Well, you speak of the heat is on. Watch this defensive surge. Offense looked like there were no one there.
True.
Defensive back, cornerback blitz, a cat blitz because of tight formation on the left side defensively. Tight end block down. He's got the freedom to go and did. Great pressure applied by the defensive unit of Delaware State.
The second in their conference against the pass. Number 1 in total defense. Tapp pulls back. Pressure. Gets around one man. Still running. Throws.
Intended for the chain man.
I'll tell you, the heat was on. Dan Coppage, number 57, the inside linebacker and co-captain of his team. Bench presses about 400 pounds. Really chased Tapp out of the kitchen.
Yes, he did, Charlie. He made a good angle, but a late move by Tapp evaded a sack, which would have netted him all the way back to near the 10-yard line. Tapp had the presence of mind and the quickness of foot to get away from another defensive lineman and finally got rid of the ball. Incomplete, brings up a 4th down punting situation. Waiting on a new ball for Lance Hughes to attempt the punt.
Taylor is deep for Delaware, and Lance Hughes is back to punt for 7.
His punts have been hanging, but the wind has gotten to a couple of them. He gets off a beauty this time.
Skyrocket.
Taylor being chased all the way back to the 28-yard line. Dances around the sideline and put one whale of a move on the Southern defender. Parnell Weatherspoon.
A little heat on the sideline there, and understandably so. Southern University is a bit frustrated, as you mentioned. Can't get anything going offensively, nor defensively, nor even on the special teams, which play a vital part in winning and losing. As John Taylor just put a nifty move down on Witherspoon. to gain about 10 yards on that punt return effort. Ball is at the 42.5-yard line.
Their fourth offensive possession. Let's watch this move.
Just froze with a spoon. Give a shake and bake move inside, outside. Give him a leg, take him a leg, and Spoon cannot, because of his responsibility, give up inside containment.
That's true, Lem, and you really figure your sideline is your best friend.
It's your friend, it is. It's like another man.
That's right, and that's what he was trying to do. Make sure he ran to the sideline. Didn't want to let him loose in the middle of the field. A gain of 5. Make it 6 on that last run. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Hornets of Delaware State. Look at their quarterback, Jerome Baker. Didn't start the last couple of games. Mike Walker did. But he has 2 capable quarterbacks, and Baker's in there now running the offense. Throws, has it complete to the tight end, Wynn. And Wynn is down inside the 30 to the 27-28-yard line.
I'm not going to put you on the spot, Charlie, but it would be interesting to know what is the passing percentage of either Baker or Walker, because it's got to be high. As I mentioned, having a great wing T running formation, they very seldom pass, but when they do, it's got to be wide open, as is this pass here completed to the tight end.
Well, Baker coming into the game was 49 of 80. That's better than 50%. As Baker carries, and he's tripped up, and there's a flag down. Holding.
And that all came from a mix-up in the backfield or miscommunication between the running back and the quarterback. Quarterback Baker ends up getting banged around on the leg, which is nothing he could live off, and the offensive line ends up holding. They'll have a 10-yard penalty assessed against him, and these are the things that stop drives.
Now, we talked about the fact that you asked about the percentage. 49 of 80 would be plus 50%. Walker is 24 for 45. That's about 52% in the passing department. So where you look at the other side of the ledger, Southern University, their percentage for tap is 38%. Bennett, 32%.
It was almost redundant for me to say that I was putting you on the spot. I could never put you on the spot.
Draw play. Comer. And Comer is down to the 30 after the penalty. Flag is down. And we have maybe a late hit somewhere. Dead ball foul. We'll see what this one is all about.
Face mask or helmet snatch off on Coleman.
We'll wait for the official. Personal foul. And it's on Rufus Porter.
Linebacker extraordinaire.
And they're going to mark it down. So now Mike Walker has come into the lineup now. And that's the stats on him. 24, 45, 433 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
I bet on that broken play, Charlie, quarterback Jerome Baker was injured somehow in the leg, because he looked like he took a vicious shot and stayed down a little bit longer than what a quarterback normally does when he is normally just tackling the open field.
So the ball is moved down to the 15-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Hornets of Delaware State with 12:06 remaining in the 2nd quarter. There's your look at Rufus Porter. The Hornets are ahead 25-0, and Southern calls a timeout.
This but's for all that you do. You keep America going. You keep the juices flowing. You are the muscle, the hope and the hustle. You keep the country growing, and you make America work, and this but's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This but's for you.
Right now at Sears, there's something you should see. It's the kickoff of Sears' new century. Our Craftsman 112-piece tool set includes a quick-release ratchet. At $99.99, who can match it? This same low price buys a lifestyler rowing exerciser. You'll feel like a million, yet spend like a miser. And weather-wise radials with all-season tread are as low as $34.99. That's enough said, because with prices like these, don't wait. So hurry into Sears and celebrate. There's more for your life at Sears.
There is a time when we all need a helping hand. The syrup jar is stuck. Accept the helping hand and never, never, ever again have an argument with a stuck jar. The helping hand, an absolutely ingenious invention. No lid is too stubborn. No bottle too stuck. No job too big or too small for the helping hand. This homemade jam is really stuck. He can't budge it. He can't either. She can't. Even he can't. But guess who can? With one hand, with a helping hand. Plus, if you act now, we'll include as a free gift the fabulous little tab grabber. Flip open those new flip tops without ripping a nail. And both yours now for just $11.95.
MasterCard and Visa orders, call toll-free 1-800-238-2400. That's 1-800-238-2400. Or send just $11.95 plus $2 shipping and handling to Helping Hand. P.O. Box 25579, Washington, D.C.
Dale and Lombardi with you here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. 12:06 remaining in the second quarter. And a first and 15 for the Hornets of Delaware State at the 15-yard line of Southern University and leading 25-0. There's the time remaining in the first half. Most points Southern has given up this year, 27. They're in danger of giving up more. They go for the fade pattern. It's almost intercepted, but it's broken up by Michael Blunt in the end zone. They were looking for John Taylor.
Contraire, broken up by John Taylor. John Taylor ended up turning wide receiver, defensive back. Otherwise, Blunt would have came up with a great defensive turnover with the interception deep in the end zone. Get a chance to watch it again. As will happen so many times, either a missed bobble from quarterback and center or even overthrown pass, such as it is here, with a new quarterback, Walker, coming into the ball game.
But he's the better passer. Walker's the better passer.
Great defensive play by Blunt. I'm sorry.
Nothing wrong with him throwing the ball. They don't lose anything in the passing department when he comes in. Comer in motion. They hand off straight ahead, and it was Barnes who broke a tackle right in the backfield and managed to turn it into a gain down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Barnes carried
Ford Michael. These kids are freshmen. Long back. The only senior back there now in that lineup is Barnes, Comer, and Henry. Barnes is a freshman, Stone a sophomore, Trott is a junior. So they'll be back.
Delaware will be running the wing T formation for many years.
And they come back with Henry. And Henry is into the end zone with a 9-yard run. And for Henry, that is his 4th touchdown rushing of the year. Dwayne Henry, the senior, from Smyrna, Delaware.
It is again. You got to credit that offensive line for blocking. A good offensive surge there. Double team block looked like on the nose guard. Dwayne Henry from then on. Quickness and speed and alertness gets into the end zone for the next 6, 31-0. Following the PAT, good. 32-0. Delaware State on top of Southern University.
Well, it sure came your way. 11:20 remaining here in the first half. 32-0. You wouldn't believe it, would you?
Certainly wouldn't.
I want to remind our viewers about Ruth Hudgens. Always in the kitchen. Always cooking up something good for you. So join her in the kitchen with Ruth. It comes your way Wednesdays exclusively on BET. You can check your local listings for the times in your area. But 32-0 is the score. We talked about that's the most points given up by Southern University this year. Delaware State's highest points were 51. They scored that against Bethune-Cookman.
Not too far from that now. 11 minutes and 20 seconds remaining.
And the most points they gave up were 51. That was to Towson State. They're getting revenge for losing that contest right now. 5-play, 58-yard drive. They used 2:22 off the clock. And a couple penalties along the way. One, in fact, upset that one.
Split move again.
And it's Washington from the 18. You make that Bennett. Irvin Bennett, he can do that better than everyone, I'll tell you. He sent them up in pretty good field position, but there's a flag down at the 42-yard line. That's his return average. And that return average, believe it or not, by Bennett, ranks him first in the conference. He had an 84-yarder against Nichols. Had a 45-yarder last week against Tennessee State that set up a touchdown.
A big 45-yarder.
Now the penalty flag continues to fall.
And guess what? He may be going in at quarterback.
Illegal motion against Southern University. On the kickoff return. Maybe somebody came across the line too soon before the kick was made. And I'm sure that Delaware State, with Southern having the ball at the 36, 37-yard line, will kick it once again. And what they did, they moved Brent Washington out of there, and they put Bennett over there since the ball was going over there so often. I wouldn't be surprised to see him just switch up a little bit and put Scott over there.
You think they heard it?
Illegal procedure penalty against Southern.
And then the result, it's sort of word then. Procedure against the return team. Penalty will be assessed. 11 minutes and 14 seconds now remaining in the second quarter.
Maybe a little premature. Delaware State has only had one shutout this year, and that was 35-0 over Morgan State. Southern University has not been shut out or has not shut out an opponent. We know there will not be a shutout as far as their opponent tonight, but they've got to get some points on the board. This time it's Bennett again from the 11-yard line.
He's got a wall here to the left.
He's got a block. Makes a good nifty move and gets it out to the 30. Irvin Bennett. Now will he stay in at quarterback? No, he will not. Tackle will come back again. But from their own 30 with 11:05 remaining in the second quarter. First down and 10 for the Jaguars of Southern University. Look at Washington.
Stop for Delaware State.
Algie tapped the quarterback. The freshman.
From their own 30.
He's from New Orleans, Louisiana. He led his high school team in the option as a freshman, and in passing led the city as a sophomore. But right now he's over 6 as a collegiate. Ron Scott zipped up in the backfield by Condoloro.
Well, he led him in high school. We need to have some flashbacks now, I'll tell you. He needs to do something to get on track here. Something to build his confidence up now. Maybe a long pass or a nice nifty run. I remember when I used to play quarterback, I would roll out a bootleg rollout to at least get the feel of the pressure, get some contact, and get into the game physically. But it's been off balance a little bit. The defense has been playing great against him. The defense, that is, of Delaware State.
Second down, 17 at the 23, their own 23. Back to pass, pressure, screen. Scott has it. Needs a block. Can't get by Bertram Chu, who made just a fantastic play. Charlie Smith tried to get the block on him. And ironically enough, Charlie Smith, and all credit to him, has been a defensive player. They were hurting for some offensive linemen. Watch number 58. He tries to get the block on 17, Bertram Chu, but just can't get it.
This is what makes the screen break down, Charlie. It's his responsibility to get that man. The first man that shows the first off-color jersey. There it is, Chu. He was missed by Smith, and that allowed Chu to come to make the stop only after about a 2-yard gain to bring up third down and 7.
They moved into offense this week from those guards. Lane, offensive guard. Tatton throws. Incomplete, and it's complete to Swain. Off the hands. I'll make that Washington.
Correct. Good tip drill.
It's off the hands of Theron Robinson, 41.
It's off the hands of Theron Robinson, as you mentioned. Theron Hayes, I mean.
Hayes, rather.
Brent Washington comes up with the reception as he does here.
Good concentration.
Great concentration. Tackle made again by number 17, Shu, the young man who scored on the interception punt return.
That's the first thing the crowds had to cheer about.
Certainly is. Maybe this is the start of something big for Southern.
Brent Washington stats. First and 10, Southern University. Just shy of the 50-yard line. Tap back to pass again, throws it deep. Incomplete. He was looking downfield for Washington once again. He wanted it all.
That was a miracle throw. The wind may have sort of sailed the ball over the head of the intended receiver. Can you calculate the wind?
He's throwing into it.
He's throwing into the wind. Well, we'll say he's got a powerful arm. He overthrew Brent Washington by 10 yards. The wind sort of swirls here at A.W. Munford, if I remember.
It is swirling a little bit. It is second down and 10 at the 49, their own 49. Tap under pressure. Still on his feet.
Oh! Delaware State recovers.
At the 40-yard line. Fourth turnover for the Jaguars.
Coach shows a very negative look of disgust there. So rightfully so.
I don't think he's mad at the quarterback. He's mad at his protection. 8:55 remaining in the half.
Good day, sunshine. Good day, sunshine. I need to laugh.
We shaped the Mercury Topaz to help it hold on to the road. The way you hold on to your sunshine.
I feel good in a special way. I'm in love and it's a sunny day.
Mercury, the shape you want to be in.
Jenny, meet my little friend Brontosaurus.
Daddy, I don't feel well.
She's got a fever. Let's go home for some aspirin.
No, children's Tylenol. It's what our pediatrician gives his own kids.
Most pediatricians trust children's Tylenol because it brings fever down fast.
Fever's down.
Good.
Daddy, meet my big friend Brontosaurus.
Hi, Bronco.
Trust children's Tylenol, the one most pediatricians give their own children. And now, improved chewables that taste better.
32-0 the score. First and 10 at the 40-yard line of Southern. As we look at that last play, Lemp.
Another player again taps back to throw. A lot of heat again. He had two men open. Had he retained possession, had a chance to look downfield. A.J. Martin had broken loose under the curl, and Brent Washington had ran a streak pattern. But again,
like it hit the back of
too
the
much.
car.
Yes, hit the back, and the ball sort of just flung loose because he was carrying the ball out loosely, like hoping to throw it downfield to an open receiver.
8:55 remaining second quarter. With Left Barney, Charlie Neal with you here from Mumford Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Delaware State leading 32-0 and threatening to put 7 more on the board. With a first and 10 at the 40. They hand off straight ahead. Fumble! And it could be a break. And it fumbles forward. When it goes for you, it goes good. McGriff was carrying. Comer came up with the recovery. And they gained yards out of it.
Well,
he just would not take a Southern bounce.
That account, ironically, as an 8-yard gain.
That's an
8-yard gain, and it'll go down to 8-yard.
Who you give it to, though? Who gets credit for that one, right? Probably give it to Comer.
Well, when it goes right for you. The ball is handed off. Here to McGriff. McGriff tries to spin. Good defensive surge. Ball pops it loose. Coming up with the cover. Recovered is Comer. Second and 2.
Comer with the carry. He's left immediately. At the bottom of the pile for the Jaguars is Reggie Frank, number 92, who met him right in the hole. Third down, 3. Loss of 1.
Best defensive play we've seen Southern employed thus far tonight. That's what's going to happen. Another concerned fan wondering if I should go to Southern or Delaware.
The choice is obvious right now.
No question about it.
7:35 left in the half. Quarterback keeper. Wide open. Taylor still on his feet. 6 points. 35 yards. Frankie Brown slipped down, and they put 6 more on the board. So it's Taylor's second touchdown of the night. One by way of the end around. This one a 35-yard pass reception.
Well, you got to give Frankie Brown some credit here, Charlie. He had good coverage here. Had great coverage. Again, he goes down at the feet of the receiver, John Taylor. We didn't see it. Taylor just does a reverse down the sideline in for the 6 points. 38-7. 39 on the PAT.
And the point after by Parkinson is good. They complete the 40-yard drive after the fumble recovery. As you said, Lem, it's 39-0 with 7:29 remaining here in the second quarter. Not a good showing in the last game of the season here at Mumford Stadium. It's not the last game of the year for Southern. They will play in Tallahassee next week against Florida A&M, and then the following week, the Bayou Classic in New Orleans against Grambling. But I'll tell you, after that big win over Tennessee State last week, you would think that
they would be up.
That's right. Delaware State has scored every time they've had the ball. They have not had to punt once. They had a touchdown, a field goal, touchdown by way of offensive possessions. Then they had a punt return for a touchdown, and they had a safety.
There's 7 minutes and 29 seconds to go in the second half, and already they've outpointed themselves from that of the first quarter. First quarter, they ended with an 18-point lead. Now they've got 21 here in the second quarter.
Bennett out to the 22-yard line. This is where Southern will go to work again. First down and 10. 7th possession of the night. Things just were not going right for them. They even had a chance to recover a Delaware State fumble. And what did Delaware State do? Turn it into an 8-yard gain.
Coleman bounced right back into Coleman's hands. I tell you, when it goes right, it goes right. Like Lee Trevino said in 1974, when you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not, you're not. There's a
it should be 40 yards rather than 4 yards. Stop. Nowhere to run.
Nowhere to hide. Mark Louise and the Vandellas, 1964.
Dan Candeloro danced to that tune tonight.
Great comeback. I mean, just a lot of heat. We're having fun. We're not making mockery of the game, but Scott tries to go around to the right side. Just no offensive blocking whatsoever. Defensive line has just been doing at will what it would like to the offensive line of Southern University, and there's about a 4-yard loss. Brings up a 2nd and 14.
Mini refrigerator, icebox. 280. Tap to pass, swings it out to Scott. Scott knocked down at the 20. Good tackle by Chu. I'm impressed with Chu's play. I'll tell you, he's everywhere.
Yes, he is.
He's a combination linebacker, strong safety. So he has, as you call it, license to roam, license to kill.
Yes, he is. Only 5'11", 185-pound junior.
From Calvert City, Maryland, a co-captain of this team. And on top of that, you talk about football and athletics. Academics is the most important thing of collegiate football, and here's a young man with a 3.3 grade point average in chemistry. Not in basket weaving.
No, not in workshop. Not making light of it, but they say athletes normally don't jump on the tough subjects. There's a tough one there.
Pass in the middle, and it is caught by Byron Horton, the tight end. He was almost beheaded after he caught it by number 7, Joe Burton. 5:38 remaining. But it's not enough for a first down. The ball will be spotted at the 27.
Get a chance to see Joe Burton go up against the tight end Byron Horton. Good throw by Tapp. Again, he's got time to throw, and he got a good one off. Great to live action.
Here's Taylor trying to make a move. He gets outside. And he's still on his feet. And finally dropped in front of the Southern bench. He just left people laying in his wake. Weatherspoon finally making the stop. Shows why he's so dangerous. John Taylor. 5:12 remaining in the first half of play. 39-0. Southern is trailing.
Today, people are discovering the difference between living and living well. Well, for all those people, the menu introduces ham steak with chunky pineapple glaze, French cut green beans, and Duchess sweet potatoes. The menu dinners, because living well is still the best revenge.
your professional hairstylist for Soft Sheen's Carefree Curl.
First and 10, Delaware State at their own 32-yard line. Every time they touch the ball, they have scored tonight. Defense needs to do something now to keep them out of the end zone. The offense needs to do something to get into the end zone. That is Southern. This is Barnes. Barnes running like he's possessed to the 41. 9 yards on the play. 2nd and 1. One of the things that may be confusing to the Southern Jaguars defensively is they don't get a chance to play wing T type teams that often. So they don't see this type of formation. Yeah, that's true. And that has probably been the biggest problem that they've had. Maybe at halftime you can settle them down and, you know, make the adjustment as they're going to measure to see if he had enough for a first down. That is Reggie Barnes. But most of the teams in the SWAC are pro-type offenses. And this wing T is something new. They have people shifting all over the field and backs running from every direction. Receivers running in and around.
That is true, but again, not to take anything away from that, that's true, but they have had a whole week to work on that wing T formation. And they pretty well have scouted what Delaware State will do and can do, so it's just a thing about executing now.
This is Trot for the first down, his first carry of the night. The junior from Dover, Delaware. That's the young man we said we hadn't seen earlier, who's averaging 5.4 yards per carry. Curtis Trot, 5'8" junior. He trots off. It is John.
Yeah, well, we know that Phil Collick has a bevy of outstanding running backs, and that was just one in a long line.
There's Henry, Barnes, and Comer in there now. And it's Barnes. He gets outside of Livings, and he's down to the midfield stripe. Finally stopped by Michael Ball. But a gain of 6 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4. 3:54 and the clock running, remaining in the first half. Barnes is coming out now, and McGriff is checking back in. McGriff back into the lineup after a collarbone injury. Missed 4 games this year, number 31.
Great offensive size for an offensive line at 245. You're just like Jay Gates say, agile, mobile, and hostile.
Henry across midfield to the 48-yard line of Southern University. Anthony Hudson back in the lineup after missing quite a few games with knee surgery or knee problems. He made the stop, number 90. Southern has been hit with a rash of injuries, knee injuries to be exact. Livings had the quarterback, and he has him again. Really swallowed Baker. First time the defense has stopped them, and the crowd loves it.
Porter, Livings, Douglas, Anthony Douglas, you can all get a piece of that sack. Great defensive pressure applied on Jerome Baker. His initial contact being made by Livings. He let him get out of his grasp. He continues forward. He's got help coming from his friends. Bring up the first punting situation for Wheeler of the night.
And he doesn't do a bad job, as Bennett is back to receive this one at the 13. Makes a move, trying to get outside, gets a block. No flags yet. There's finally a flag, and he stopped at the 43-yard line. And there's a flag down at the 23.
And the pressure this young man week after week. He's employed in the same dual role, backup quarterback, kickoff, punt return artist, wide receiver. Just too bad a break then, because he had a nifty return back up to the 44-yard
flag
line.
downfield. So we may have some offsetting penalties. Let's see what it's all about. The officials from the Southland Conference are sorting it out.
They all will have a repeat of the down.
It all occurred. One penalty after on the run back. The other one, I do not know when it occurred. As you look at the sideline, one of the assistant coaches for Delaware State trying to get his headsets together. Clipping against Southern is one personal foul against Delaware State. Offset, fourth down, they'll do it all again.
Clipping penalty against Southern and a personal
2:09 left first half.
Delaware State.
And Bennett again will be back to receive the punt of David Wheeler. 37-yard average for him. He had a long one this year, 56. He has had none blocked. Bennett as a punt returner, second in the conference with a 16.3-yard average, a 34-yarder against Tennessee State a week ago.
Joan Hamilton, please contact the campus police. For Mrs. Joan Hamilton, please
Gets off another beauty and turns it over. Bennett at the 13 again. Makes a good move over there, but only gets back to the 23 this time. They'll mark it at the 22-yard line. First down and 10. James Lee on the stop. There's the penalty situation. Delaware State has been penalized 5 times for 40 yards. They've been averaging 9 penalties a game, 78 yards. Southern only 2 for 20. They're the third least penalized team in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. They've averaged only 7 penalties a game, 67 yards.
Relatively a clean game with 7 penalties for only 60 yards thus far. 2 minutes to go exactly in the second half.
At their own 23, first down and 10. The Hornets. Algie Tapp at quarterback. He's gone all the way. Finally throws and incomplete. Byron Horton, I believe, the tight end, was the intended receiver, couldn't find the handle. Second and 10.
Tapp's pass intended for
From a near capacity crowd on hand.
Good crowd. The Jaguar.
Keith Harris defended for Delaware State.
Pretty sad.
10. Southern from their own 22.
Have a good halftime show. Delaware State's band has traveled from Dover, Delaware. They'll perform along with the Southern University band. Will also be presenting our mobile player of the week. Maybe it's not Delaware State's band. Somebody's band is going to perform for you. Local high school bands, probably. That was intended for Connell Swain.
For Connell Swain was incomplete. Defending on the last play for...
I thought they were coming in late. That's one of the high school bands that'll be performing at halftime. And there's another one marching down the field. John F. Kennedy marching band. We'll get a chance to see them a little bit along with Southern University. And their dancing dolls. All decked out in the latest styles. As they say, the pretty girls with the pretty smiles.
Hey, hey, hey.
Shorty Long.
Here, here, here. Function at the junction.
1:49 left in the first half. Third down, 10. Tap throws. Complete. Short of the first down, though, possibly. Farrington Johnson had to come back. He may have it. Depends on where they mark it.
I don't know. Look like he's giving it to him.
May have it.
Maybe his right foot got a chance to drag down just in front of that down marker. Farrington Johnson, that's his 6 receptions thus far.
Yep, there's a first down. He just got it. But he had to make an adjustment to come back and get that ball.
Great adjustment.
You made a well of adjustment just now. That bat just...
Was that a bat?
just flew by your head there, Lem.
Jeez. Transylvania's loose.
Southern 4 first downs to Delaware 7, but Delaware State with 39 points on the board. Southern with none, and 1:22 left in the first half. Tap under pressure, fumbles the ball, picks it up, still on his feet, finally dropped at the 27-28-yard line. The pursuit was relentless. Number 97, Robert Pressberry.
Good job by Tapp, eluding a few of the oncoming tacklers. Got a lucky break. Ball bounced right back up into his hands, and he tried to get to the outside.
First break they've had.
Yes, certainly did.
Everything else has bounced the other way tonight.
Good chance to see Pressberry come up with a sack on Taps. There you go. You lose the tackler. Ball bounced out, pop right back up. Pressberry on the stop. 2nd and 12.
Passing situation. And we have some movement. Looks like it'll be against Southern. That'll penalize them 5 yards, so instead of 2nd down and 12, it'll be 2nd and 17.
Everybody's wrong but the center.
Quarterback, he's on his way. The center never moved the ball.
Center and the right and left, right guard and right tackle.
21 seconds remaining. Should be the last play of the half unless the ball is incomplete. Throwing it long.
What about interception?
Incomplete with 12 seconds remaining. Well, he shows he has an arm, but he hasn't been able to get it to the proper receivers.
Yes, he's been overthrowing his receivers all day after a couple of underthrown passes early on in the first half, which resulted into interceptions. 00-12 remaining.
3rd and 17 at the 24-26-yard line, that is, for the Jaguars of Southern. They trail 39-0. It's been all Delaware State here. They've only had the ball one time, that is the Hornets, in which they did not score. And they've scored in every conceivable manner, except on a kickoff return. That's because they haven't had the ball kicked off to them.
Scott.
To the 30 as the clock runs down to 5 seconds. Got to bring up a 4th down situation. They will not kick before the half ends. So as they go into the locker room, not a good first half for the Hornets. I mean, for the Jaguars of Southern. A fantastic half for the Hornets of Delaware State. They lead 39-0, and we'll be back. Our halftime activities for Stadium, and this is the Clinton High School Band performing at halftime for you. Some of the high schoolers getting into the act, and they're dedicating this to Dr. Isaac Gregg, the band director at Southern University. Let's listen. That was the Clinton High School Marching Band electrifying the crowd here at halftime. In fact, I don't even think the Southern University Band's going to perform. They're going to just sit back and allow the high schools to do their thing tonight. And we've so far enjoyed it. But let's go to some first half highlights and see how Delaware State got this big lead. They took a 7-0 lead here with 9:53 remaining in the first quarter. It was the quarterback, Jerome Baker, with a 3-yard run, capping a 35-yard drive that was set up by Chu's interception. That made it 7-0. And then with 6:44 remaining, they made it 10-0. That was set up by Coppage's interception here as Tapp rolls around to the left side. Bad read, throws into coverage. Coppage, the linebacker, comes up with the interception, runs the ball all the way back to the 20-yard line. That set up a 33-yard field goal by David Parkinson and made it 10-0. Then with 4:37 remaining in the first quarter, it was Chu returning a punt by Lance Hughes. He takes it 51 yards. The 2-point conversion was no good, and all of a sudden it was the Hornets with a 16-0 lead. Then with 2:31 remaining in the first quarter, a bad snap from Derek Hughes over the head of Derek Fox, over the head of Lance Hughes, and Hughes fell on the ball in the end zone. He was covered by Andrews, and it's a 2-point safety, 18-0 in favor of Delaware State. And then with 14:54 remaining in the second quarter, in fact, it was the first play of the second quarter, Here's Taylor on the reverse end around, his second touchdown of the year on this play, and it's 25-0 in favor of Delaware State. That was a 7-yard run with 11:20 left in the second quarter. It was Henry coming into the ball game, number 20, the senior from Smyrna, Delaware, and he goes straight up the middle for 9 yards. And this made it 32-0, capping a 5-play, 58-yard drive. The extra point is good. And then the scoring closed out in the first half at 7:29 left in the second quarter on a 35-yard pass play. Here is Baker in the ball game, and he goes to the air. And who's he look for? John Taylor, the big receiver out of Pennsauken, New Jersey. He gets away from Frankie Brown here, legs it into the end zone, capping a 35-yard pass play, and that made it 39-0. Delaware State over Southern. That's where it stands right now at halftime. And let's go and see who our mobile player of the week is. Each week at halftime, BET Sports presents our mobile player of the week. And our mobile player this week is number 12, reserve quarterback Irvin Bennett of Southern University. The 6'3", 210-pound senior from Fort Pierce, Florida, didn't make player of the week honors for his quarterbacking, but for his kick returning as Southern beat Tennessee State 13-10. It was the Jaguars' first win over the Tigers since 1969. Bennett set up the game's first score with a 34-yard punt return to the Tennessee State 16 in the second quarter. In the final quarter, with his team trailing 10-3, he set up the tying score with a 46-yard kickoff return to the TSU 49, and that's why number 12, Irvin Bennett of Southern University, is our mobile player of the week.
Do you know which of these oils gives you the best engine protection under the toughest driving conditions, sub-zero cold or blazing heat? This one, Mobil 1. This winter, buy Mobil 1 in this easy pour container and drive away with the oil that helps you start, even at 35 below.
Nobody has a tougher position than a pro defensive back, and nobody sweats more. But I don't shower with deodorant soap, because I made a break from that stuff. A clean break with Ivory. Look, what you see is basic natural soap, and what you get is an honest clean. Some soaps cover you with smelly perfumes or deodorants. That stuff doesn't get you clean. Ivory makes me feel clean and smell clean. That's an honest clean.
Make a clean break with Ivory. No soap can get you cleaner, no matter who you're up against.
To announce the winning lettuce and tomato hamburger, Sizzler Aretha Franklin and the Iceman Jerry Butler. McDonald's new McDLT. Some like it cool, but new red is so much better.
McDonald's has found a brand new way to bring hot and cool together. New McDLT is packaged like this, so the beef stays hot.
And the lettuce stays crisp. Could be the best tasting lettuce and tomato hamburger ever.
New McDLT.
McDLT.
What a feeling! I am moving now, feeling believing. I am rhythm now, pictures come
As we continue with our halftime enjoyment of the high school bands here at Mumford Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, let's watch and listen to John F. Kennedy High School Band there from New Orleans, Louisiana. $39-0, our halftime score. Believe it or not, the Hornets of Delaware State here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, leading the Jaguars of Southern. Let's look at some of our first half stats. First downs, Delaware State out in front, 10-3, yards rushing, 133-20 for Southern. A little better for Southern than a week ago when they were held to a minus 35 yards rushing. They've only managed 38 yards passing, tapped 6 of 16 in that department. On the other side, Baker 2 for 3, 58 yards and a touchdown. His counterpart, Walker, who played a little bit there, 0 for 1 in the passing department. Total yards, 191-58. The penalties, Southern picking up some late in the first half, 6 for 50. Penalties for Delaware State, 4 for 35. But Southern University with those 4 turnovers, each resulting in a touchdown or a score for Delaware State. We're at halftime, 39-0. The Hornets over the Jaguars. State over the Jaguars of Southern. As you look at Otis Washington, has to be a real dejected young man right now.
Charlie, I would have hated to have been a participant in that halftime dressing room, listening at what he had to say. I'm sure he had some maybe not so unkind words, but perhaps some staunch words for both his offense, defense, as well as the special team, because neither three phases of the football team has played anywhere with consistency tonight.
There'll be a 15-yard penalty assessed against Southern University to start the second half for delay of game. The high school bands, not familiar with the collegiate rules, evidently took a little bit too much time.
Southern University's band never had a chance to hit the field.
They didn't even go on the field. And Delaware State will receive the second half kickoff, leading 39-0. You saw the first half highlights and the stats on what has been a domination by the Hornets of Delaware State. Most points that Southern has given up so far this year. And Southern has not even been close to being in scoring territory. In fact, they have not had the ball in Delaware State territory at all tonight. So that accounts for part of that 39-0 scores.
Look who I see on the sideline again, but behind the bench this time, and that's Mama Jag.
Protection.
Yes. Last time we were here, Mama Jag got hit by a flying football player. He had to take her to the hospital.
Good to see her. She's doing all right. Didn't make the trip to Detroit, though, said she will not get on an airplane. That's Thomas Rout, the barefooted kicker, to kick it off for Southern University, the junior out of Houston, Texas, to start the second half. Kicks it deep, and it's John Taylor back to field it at the 9-yard line. Taylor breaks out of the pack, and Taylor is out to the 30-yard line. In the first half, Taylor electrified the crowd with his kick return ability. Leonce White made the stop. So, at their own 30-yard line, Delaware State, first down and 10. They punted only one time in the first half. Every time they touched the ball, they scored. They scored by way of a punt return. They scored by way of a safety, pass, run. As you see Irvin Bennett warming up on the sideline. We may see him in the lineup in the second half. This is Comer around the left side. Comer dancing and finally brought down on the far sideline.
Well, there's Bennett. Look like Bennett is warming up on the sideline. I don't know if this is an indication that he may start the second half over taps.
A gain of about 5 on that play. It'll be second down and 5 on the run by Comer. Comer in the first half ran for 25 yards on 6 carries. May have some illegal motion. Looked like the left guard, Jack Downs, pulled out a little bit too soon. As you saw Reggie Barnes get whacked in the backfield. Like illegal motion. Illegal motion.
Offside looked like against Delaware State.
It is. Watch the left guard, 65, Jack Downs. There he goes. He's anxious.
Yeah. He knew he had to pull and block, and he wanted to get that early start, but just a bit prematurely, as you mentioned. Brings up second and 10. Scoreboard clock is out, as you mentioned.
No scoreboard clock here, so we are not familiar with the time. We do know the score, though. If you look at the clock. This time they go to Henry, and Henry breaks it out to the 39-yard line. About a yard shy of a first down. It'll be third down and 1. Dwayne Henry, 30 yards rushing in the first half, a touchdown on 5 carries. So give him 39 yards on 6 carries.
Great offensive output by Delaware State in the first half. 5 touchdowns, a field goal, and a safety. As you mentioned, they scored everywhere but by way of kickoff return.
Comer breaks a tackle of Mitch Livings, and he's finally down at the 35-yard line. A loss of 4. It'll bring up 4th down, and it'll bring on a punting situation. So the defense stiffens here to start the second half as you look at Rufus Porter. And that'll bring on Wheeler to do the punting.
Good defensive surge here. Second time Mitch Livingston's been in the backfield, almost receiving a handoff, and Then finally getting help from his friends. Poor punt. Well, takes the Delaware State bounce finally.
Saw Marvin Yates trying to get out of its way. So, Southern University will be a whale of a comeback if they at least get back into the ball game.
It'd be a miracle if they came back.
Ball will be down at the 32-yard line. Otis Washington, their own 32 is where Southern will go to work. First down and 10. Next week, Lim and I travel to Greensboro, North Carolina, as the Aggies of A&T, also out of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, host the CIAA North Carolina Central University Eagles. Here's Scott trying to get outside, running for his life. He will be down back for a big loss. And the man who dropped him was LeBrant Robinson, the sophomore from Salisbury, Maryland. Penalty flag is down. Well, they're not going to talk to the Southern people. Zach Gaston came up to the official. It's unsportsmanlike conduct against Southern. And it occurred evidently after the whistle had blown, so more yardage will be marked off. Back to the 11-yard line. As you look at number 95, Robinson.
Great defense, as you mentioned.
Ball is all the way back to the 12-yard line. They have to get to the 42 for a first down. 2nd and 30.
2nd and 32. Jaguars from their own 11.
Pitch to Scott. Scott needed a block from Farrington Johnson, and Farrington was just frozen there.
Well, good defensive snuff again.
Joe Burton was over there, along with Daniel Coppage. Dan Coppage. So the drive is up to the 19-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 23.
Jaguars from their own 18.
High formation, we may see a pass here. Sure,
the only thing that's cooperated with Southern Lim is the weather.
No rain. Bennett in trouble.
And he breaks out of there. And he is down at the 21. They gain 2 after all of that, and to bring up 4th down, 21.
Good defense applied by Delaware State. Front 4. Had him to scramble. Looking for an intended receiver. Good quarterback sack, you described this as. Play action fake out of the I formation. He rolls left. Looks like he tried to hit his flanker out in the flat there. Good pressure there. Men jumping, leaping, chilling that passing lane. He decides to scramble. Finally, as Charlie mentioned, made 2 yards on the carry. Back to live action.
And on the punt by Hughes, it takes a Southern roll down to the 25-yard line. First down and 10. The Hornets of Delaware State will have the ball when we come back. We're in the 3rd quarter. The crowd on hand here at Mumford Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. There's Dr. Isaac Gregg and the Southern University Marching Band. Listen to him for a moment. Delaware State 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. First drive, second drive of them for the second half, and Henry is really slammed into turf there at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Chris Scott, the linebacker, on the stop, along with Gus Miles. Scott, Defensive Player of the Week last week in the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Good hit. Got a little help from number 59, Rufus Porter, coming from the backside.
He had 12 tackles. That is Scott against Tennessee State last week. 12 solo tackles. The quarterback, Baker, spins out, then throws. Flag is down. Has it complete on the far side to the tight end Wynn. But a flag is down. 2 flags, in fact.
Maybe holding on the play against Delaware State. Good play here. Tried a rollout action here. There was a pass intended all the way, perhaps, but he looked like he wanted to run. Desmond, the tight end, Desmond Wynn, comes across. Good catch, good reception to no avail. Holding on the play, it'd be nullified. 10 yards marked off.
And they'll move it back to the 15-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 20. Bill Collick, a graduate of the University of Delaware, and in his first year as head coach of the Hornets of Delaware State, served as an assistant. For 4 years, he was the defensive coordinator. Flag is down again as Barnes carries out to the 20-yard line. One of the men on the stop, Torrin Robinson, along with Michael Blunt and Marvin Yates, holding again against Delaware State. So now they're starting to pick up the penalties. The thing is, they're still holding onto the football.
Yes, and the lead. 39-0.
As long as they hold the ball, Lem, that means you can't get back in the ball game.
That's true. That's true.
The clock is still running, even though we're holding.
Relatively a clean game as far as penalties. 7 penalties for 60 yards of the first half. They've almost eclipsed that already here in the early going of the third quarter. Second and 30 is what Delaware State is faced with.
And again, it was Barnes on the carry out to the 10-yard line. It's a 3rd down and long. 3rd and about 24. The Hornets came in here expecting a much tougher game, as you would imagine. You don't come in thinking you're going to cakewalk anybody. Well, that's what it's been so far.
Yes, it has, Charlie. Virtually, and both you and I were looking for a more fired-up game from the Jags of Southern because of the great victory they had last week against Tennessee State.
Here's Comer on 3rd and long, and he may get the first down. Boy, he was really hit, though. He'll be about 12 yards shy, but he almost broke out of there. Torrin Robinson really laid a hit on him, number 15.
Picture-perfect tackle. Good tackle by Torrin Robinson.
He's the 4th leading tackler on this Jaguar team.
Play action there to Barnes. Ball is handed off to Comer. Nifty move here. Evades a few tacklers, and boom. Torrin Robinson on the stop. Good spiraling punt.
Wheeler. This is Frankie Brown. And Frankie Brown is out to the 42-yard line. Andre Williams on the stop. Good field position, though, for Southern University. The deepest penetration that they've had in this ball game tonight is to their own 40-yard line. Now they're going to start at their own 43. They have not been into Delaware State territory as of yet. Irvin Bennett, who did not play at quarterback in the first half, has come in relief of Algie Tapp. He's back to pass on 1st down. Stands in there. Throws. Incomplete. Too low for the intended receiver, Byron Horton. And the man who was closest to it was the defender. And that was Bertram Chu.
Almost intercepted. He had time. He had time. Semi-rollout to his left. Still somewhat maintaining that pocket position. Watch it. Almost intercepted by Bertram Chu, who has 1 interception already for the evening and 1 punt return for a touchdown.
Brent Washington, along with Farrington Johnson, are flanked to the right side. I formation. Incomplete. He threw behind Washington. Washington was open. So neither quarterback has been effective in the passing department. They both had problems.
No question about that. Again, credit the defensive line for putting that pressure on both Tapp, who started the early first half, and now Irvin Bennett, reserve quarterback, punt return, kickoff return extraordinaire. He's in now, and his first 2 passes has gone awry. Underthrown, both of them.
It is 3rd down and 10. He throws. Incomplete. Wide open on the far sideline was Brent Washington, but he threw it a little bit too high, and he needed a step ladder to get that one.
He did, Charlie. Wide open Brent Washington was, and it's no excuse. He should have had this completion. No coverage whatsoever around Washington. Everything had drifted toward the right or to the middle of the field. Watch now. No one's even around Brent Washington as he has to try and employ that vertical leaping ability just off the outstretched fingertips. Incomplete, bring up a 4th down punting situation.
And they still haven't gotten into Delaware State territory.
Started at the 43 and offside, I'm sure, here, and it ended at the 43.
Great punt. Fumble. And
Taylor knocks it
out of bounds at the 12-yard line. They may decline this one because they still will be shy of a 1st down. Let's see. Someone jumped a little bit too quickly on that defensive side for the Hornets of Delaware State. Now it's up to Southern whether they're going to punt it again or whether they're going to leave the ball at the 12. Looks like they're going to punt it over.
Well,
or was he drawn offsides? Now let's again wait and see. We have not seen. It's going to be against Southern, believe it or not.
Well, it's a wise choice to have it punted again.
A 15-yard penalty?
More than offsides.
Ineligible man downfield or illegal substitution. They may have had too many men on the field. They may have had 12 men on the field. Plus they lose a down, so they can't have a 5th down.
Southern's trying to do anything.
Lance Hughes had to pick it up off the dirt. Not as good a kick. Maybe he can get the bounce. It's fielded. And down at the 30-yard line is Taylor. We'll be back. We're in the 3rd quarter. Southern trailing 39-0.
By Taylor. This time by Holston.
At Campbell, we think you should get a satisfying meal no matter when you eat.
Good morning, Miller.
Good night, Lazinski.
That's why we pack every can of chunky soup with so many big pieces of solid food. Big chunks of beef, chicken, vegetable, even seafood.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. So Chunky not only satisfies a hearty appetite.
Dr. Lazinski to OR staff.
It also helps you work up another one. Chunky, the soup that eats like a meal.
On September 15th, Nike created a revolutionary new basketball shoe. On October 18th, the NBA threw them out of the game. Fortunately, the NBA can't stop you from wearing them. Air Jordans from Nike.
Otis Washington going through the offense that he'd like to see his team employ and try to get something going, because they have not been able to. Along with Derek Price, the receivers coach. Meanwhile, the defense is on the field. Comer, left side. He is tripped up over there. Fumble. And there's still a scramble for the ball. Southern needs a break.
A big break. Some breaks, we might add. Trailing 39-0.
It'll be the second fumble of the night for Delaware State. The second one bounced right back into their arms. They got an 8-yard gain out of it, and they managed to hold on to this one.
Second and
10. He's really hit over there, too.
There's the ball being stripped there by Michael Ball. Comer tries to regain possession of it as he's falling to the turf.
So it's second down and 10.
Danzig recovers.
Back to pass. Baker under pressure. And they drop him. Boy, they really came with the blitz that time. The defense is getting fired up. Maybe a little too late, but the offense can get something going. They may get some respectability out of this game.
Well, Jerome Baker, three-step drop. He wanted something hot. There's Rufus Porter scraping off the right side of that offensive line and body slamming Jerome Baker to the turf for about a 5-yard loss or a 6-yard loss. Bring up a 3rd and 16.
You have to remember that they've lost Riley McPhee. He was ejected in the first quarter. We still weren't sure about what we saw, why he was ejected, but the officials evidently saw something we didn't. Baker again going to the air. Or was he?
Draw.
It was a draw play. He fooled me. I thought he had the ball. It was Comer running.
Yes.
But it didn't get enough for the first down.
Here it is
he
again.
Carried out his fake.
Front draw to Comer, who's pretty much the leading ball carrier in this game this evening. Comer gained 11 of those 16 yards back.
Marvin Yates made the stop as Wheeler goes back to punt it once again. Fair catch called for and made by A.J. Martin at the 35-yard line.
A.J. Martin for 7. Makes it 7's ball, 1st and 10
So,
from the Jaguars.
let's see if the little skull session that Otis Washington had with his offense has paid off, as Irvin Bennett remains in at quarterback. First down and 10, and the flags a go, a flag. Next week, Southern travels down to Florida A&M before closing out their season 2 weeks from now against the Tigers of Grambling at the Superdome in New Orleans in the annual Bayou Classic. Offsides, illegal motion against Southern University. Delaware State, meanwhile, will play in Boston, Massachusetts a week from now. The weather will be in quite contrast to what they have here against Northeastern. Then they play Howard University. A win against Howard would give them the make that the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Championship. A fumble on the exchange, the snap. And let's see. I believe Southern got it back. They were coming with the blitz, though.
They were coming with everybody but Coach Bill Collick then. Good thing there was a fumble. Bennett perhaps would have had more yards lost than what he did on that bobble exchange from the center.
2nd down and 17. As you look at Chris Scott, linebacker.
12 solos last week.
And Mid-East Southwestern Athletic. I'm going to get these conferences straight after a while. Southwestern Athletic Conference defensive player of the week. And another fumble. That just fell right out of Bennett's hands. And believe it or not, Delaware State has it back at the 28-yard line.
Delaware State, so it's State's ball, 1st and 10.
And the clock is back working. 5:43, the time remaining on the scoreboard clock here in the 3rd quarter. But at the 27-yard line is where Delaware State will take over. Charles Loney was the man who came up with the fumble recovery. Comer in motion. Pressure on the quarterback, Baker, who throws incomplete. Great defensive play down there by Thorne Robinson.
Great defensive play as White, Charlie, but he missed the man that he should have thrown to. Tight end, Jill Carter. Get a chance to watch again, but here's what destroyed it. A good blitz there by Mitch Livings, who's been in that backfield all afternoon. There he is right there to the left of your screen, but he chose to go to the primary receiver, which was John Taylor. But again, great defensive play.
2nd down 10 from the 27 of Southern. Henry in motion.
Sprint
Baker
draw.
on the draw. And he hands off to Comer, and Comer is down to the 25-yard line. So he picked up about 2 yards on the draw play. It'll be 3rd down and Make that 8. 3rd and 8 for Eldridge Comer. 46 yards tonight. Came into the game with 433 yards, 7th leading rusher in the conference, the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Ace, as he's called, honorable mention all-conference a year ago as a junior. He's out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Not that big, 5'9", 165 pounds, but does the job. Reverse, and Comer has it, and he's dropped for a big loss. And it's Rufus Porter who dropped him outside the 30 to about the 32-yard line.
Well, Porter at his best, playing defense where it should be played on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Southern was in a blitzing situation then, came up with a good play. Porter drops Comer for a 4-yard loss, brings up 4th and 14.
And this is one of the few times that Southern has turned the ball over and the defense is held. Came close to blocking this punt by Wheeler. That's going to carry in and out of the end zone. Way out of the end zone. 4:02 left, 3rd quarter, 39-0. The Hornets ahead.
For Anna Jefferson, Travel Club hostess, it's hard to smile with a headache.
It's a bad headache, and it's throbbing. I really would like an aspirin.
Today we'd like you to try Extra Strength Tylenol. It works without aspirin.
I would like to try it.
Regular aspirin only gives you this much medicine, but Extra Strength Tylenol goes to the limit. It's the most medicine you can buy without a prescription.
I feel great. I feel like going out and telling the world, everybody take Extra Strength Tylenol.
Extra Strength Tylenol. You can't buy a more potent pain reliever without a prescription.
Give me a light. Bud Light. If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Bud Light!
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best. Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
3:29, and the clock is still being set, I believe, on the scoreboard. They're getting the official time up there. It's being run down to the correct time, and that may be what it is right now. 3:19 left, 3rd quarter, but the score has not changed. 39-0 in favor of the Hornets of Delaware State. Southern University, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Last time they had the ball, they turned it over on a fumble. Bennett hands off to Scott. Scott is hit by Condolero. A gain of 1. 2nd and 9.
There's Otis saying they're just not executing. They're not blowing people off the line. They're not blowing people off the line when they're running the ball, and they're not giving the quarterback time to actually set up and throw in passing situations. Otis is saying, what do we have to do? Well, execute for one thing.
Scoring by quarters coming into today's game. Play action. Bennett throws. Has it complete to Swain. Swain's first reception of the day. 1st down at the 34-yard line. Southern University.
This pass was complete to Connell Swain.
Bertram Chu on the stop.
Well, one of the very few times he's had a chance to set up and throw with any type of accuracy. Still a bit underthrown to Swain. He had an open lane over on the left side of the field. Had it been thrown a bit higher, he would have had a little more running room.
I believe, actually, the quarter has ended. That clock was incorrect. We did not have the clock until recently. So the 3rd quarter has just come to an end. And as they go to the other end of the field and start the final 15 minutes of this contest, Southern University, along with Lim Barney with you for the final quarter of this contest. Maybe mercifully so for Southern University, who trail 39-0. They have the ball with a 1st down and 10, just shy of the 35-yard line after the completion to Connell Swain. As they break the huddle, Swain along with Farrington Johnson come to the near side. Backs in a high formation behind their quarterback, Irvin Bennett. Bennett on the draw play to Scott. Scott out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Gain of about 7 on the play for Scott. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
Scott there for 7. Robinson made the tackle for Delaware.
2nd Second down and 3 at their own 41-yard line. They still have not gotten into Delaware State territory tonight. Pitch to Scott. Scott is hit at the 40-yard line. A loss of 1, actually, on the play.
Final score between Grambling and Alabama State. Grambling 28, Alabama State 0.
Scott a little slow getting up.
Alabama State 0.
Andre Williams, that linebacker, really put the hit on him. They lose about a half a yard. Third down, we'll call it 4.
Good surge, left side defensively led by Williams. As a result, ending up in a couple of yards loss. Here it is, a toss. Here's Williams. Good force, good field, good containment. All 3 of them there. Runner has nowhere to go.
Pass complete to Haynes, Theron Haynes out of the backfield. He has enough for the first down across the 45 to the 46, and that's the deepest penetration that Southern has had tonight. And they still are not across midfield. They're at the 46-yard line.
First and 10, 7.
Bertram Pugh, the man who really put the lick on Theron Haynes.
Almost wiped out Hayes and about 4 other guys on the sideline who was mesmerized with the play. Got to scramble when you see that action coming on the sideline.
Bennett to Scott. Scott trying to get outside, nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. Great pursuit by the Hornets. They have been very impressive in their defensive pursuit.
Certainly have. 94, there's Williams. Number 17, there's Bertram. And number 54 coming up from his linebacking position. Virgil Blocker. The force, the feel, and the containment, all there on the tackle.
Second down. They gave him a yard on that last play. It's going to be 2nd and 9. Rolling out, Bennett throws. Scott behind him, though. Scott was out there, but he threw it behind him. And he had coverage by Andre Williams. And Scott, I'm sure, can outrun the linebacker, but the pass a little behind the intended receiver. 3rd and 9.
7 from the Jaguar 47.
Every now and then a team just comes out flat and just doesn't play. And this is the case of Southern tonight.
That's the truth, Charlie. It's the old adage, any team can beat another team on any given night. And again, we thought that we'd have a much better matchup competitively, especially after Southern coming off a fine win, eking out a 13-10 victory over Tennessee State and Detroit on last week.
Bennett throws, has Swain out there. Swain has the first down, and he steps out of bounds inside the 40-yard line of the 38. So finally, Southern University gets into Delaware State territory. Let's watch Farrington Johnson work. Number 18 in the opposite.
Here's Farrington on the opposite side of Cornell Swain. Here he goes inside.
Crossing pattern.
Slot formation. He's looking for the ball. He's looking for the quarterback now. Skabingo. That really should be a penalty on number 7, the defensive back, Burton, because it's going up in the face area and the head, and the officials normally, if they can spot that, it's a no-no.
Bad pass. A.J. Martin, the closest man to it. Again, the linebacker down there, and that was Andre Williams. So it'll bring up a 2nd down situation.
Well, the deepest penetration, as you mentioned, alluded to earlier, for Southern at the 38-yard line of Delaware State. Let's see if they can't capitalize on it.
Clock is not in their favor. 12:38 left in the contest. Down 39 points. In danger of being shut out. We alluded to it in the second quarter, saying we didn't want to be too premature, but it's closer to becoming a reality. Throws incomplete. Took his eyes off the ball. Was going for the first down. Cornell Swain had it. Couldn't hold on.
Did not WBIH. Did not watch ball in hands, as you mentioned.
Michael Cherry was over there covering.
Ball carried him off his shoulder pads, off his chest. Good throw by Bennett on the rollout and motion. Here it is, right in the chest. You can see the head being whipped around by Cornell, either looking for that down back marker or looking for the defensive back.
3rd and 10.
Harris, in that case, number 47, covering.
7 from the Delaware State 38.
Pete.
And Bennett dropped at the midfield stripe. 4th down.
Bennett may be hurt. He fell to the turf a bit awkward then. When he gets up under his own power, that's a good sign.
They're going to mark the ball at the 48 of Delaware State.
Well, they almost was driven back out of Delaware State's territory. Ball is just at the 48-yard line.
That was a fairly good drive. They started at their own 20, but they wind up with Lance Hughes punting again. Off the side.
Wind is swirling the ball. It takes a great
Delaware State bounce. And it'll be down to the 30-yard line. So 18 yards on the punt. 12 minutes left in the contest. And Delaware State will get the ball at their own 30. 1st down and 10.
Hope you're still with us.
Yeah, I do. Reminder, the viewers will be in Greensboro, North Carolina a week from today. And running very well is Reggie Barnes. And Barnes fumbled. Let's see. Did they give Southern the ball? Yes. So that's the 3rd fumble of the night by Delaware State, but the first one that they've lost. And let's see who came up with it.
Milburn, I believe.
Might have been Troy Milburn.
Fine run by Barnes. Fumble was caused by number 77 coming in, Ken House, to strip it alertly from the defensive back spot. Troy Milburn recovers the fumble.
So now another break. 11:53 remaining in the contest for the Southern Jaguars. Back to pass is Bennett. Throws, sidearm, has a complete. Swain out of bounds, has a 1st down at the 31-yard line.
To Swain. The Q defended for Delaware, but it's the 1st down 7 from the Delaware 31.
At the 31-yard line, 11:47 remaining. Cornell Swain on the reception.
Senior wide receiver.
Certainly is, out of Hazelhurst, Georgia. 5th-year senior.
Blitz. Good protection.
Throws it long. Out of everybody's reach.
Onto the warning track.
Swain was the intended receiver out there, and Cherry was covering.
There's a penalty mark on the play.
Flag is down.
Looks like it's going against Delaware State. Finest job I think I've seen of the offensive unit for Southern in containing that blitz by holding it out, giving Bennett time enough to not only look at his primary but his secondary receiver, and then again on his 3rd notion decides to go to Cornell Swain, who had ran a takeoff on the left-hand side. Get a chance to see a fine job by that offensive unit of Southern University. Maximum protection, both backs stays in the block. You see Scott steps up and blocks. Plenty of time to throw. Outstanding coverage by Michael Cherry, number 5 of Delaware State.
Ball is resting at the 11-yard line. 1st and 10. And he's throwing again, this time into the corner. He's looking for Brett Washington, and Bertram Chu is covering. Just a little bit too far. If he'd have taken a little off of it, he might have had sense, because the ball was on the outside and the defender was on the inside. 2nd down and 10. I said the ball was at the 11. It's at the 16-yard line, rather. And it's 2nd and 10.
Jag comes to life again. The band pumps in the spirit.
Flag is down. Bennett runs out of the pocket. Bounced out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Penalty marker is down. Illegal motion. against Southern. So it'll be 2nd and 15 or either 3rd and 10. Let's see if they decline the penalty or if they take it. Will Collins looks on. His team out in front 39-0. 11:27 remaining in the contest. Coaches are saying take the penalty. 5 yards. Keep them out of the field goal range. They're looking for that shutout.
Yes, they are. No question about that. It's been a hard-fought ball game. 11 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in the 4th and final quarter. And I'm sure after going this far, they would like to somewhat put a shutout on the scoreboard.
We mentioned Southern has not been shut out this year. Delaware State has scored 1 shutout. That was against Morgan, 35-0. Bennett again throwing. Intercepted. 3rd interception of the night. Flag is down. Keith Harris on the interception, his 2nd interception of the year. He had 1, he ran back for a touchdown. There's a penalty marker down. And Bennett is a little slow getting up.
Bennett's pass was intercepted by Harris of Delaware State, so it's Delaware's ball, 1st and 10 from the Hornets.
Let's watch who they were going to throw to. Farrington Johnson, I believe, was the intended receiver.
Keith Harris had faked the blitz, and here he is. He ran out to the side here into a zone, number 47, right in the lane of the intended receiver, Farrington. Good advance back upfield. Again, a penalty nullified. A fine run by Harris. The ball is now marked back to the 5-yard line for Delaware State, 1st and 10 with 95 yards to go.
And 11:19 left on the clock. And leading 39-0. Barnes. First down. All the way out to the 20-yard line. 15-yard gain on that run. Well, that's backbreaking. I'll tell you, you got a team at the 5-yard line, and man runs it 15 yards on you.
Yes, it is, Charlie. And what's more incredible, he runs over 2 of the finest tacklers there. 3, in fact, Ball, Yates, and Rufus Porter. Great run by Barnes. 1st and 10, ball's at the 15-yard line.
What a hit by Robinson.
It's his 2nd big hit like that tonight.
On Comer.
Comer said, here's the ball. Should have been unsportsmanlike conduct there.
And the loss is 4 yards back to the 16. It'll be 2nd and 14 to go for the Hornets. 10:20 remaining in the contest. And the clock continuing to run down.
I said it should have been a penalty because Comer threw the ball at Robinson after he tackled him, and it makes the referees have to stop the clock. And normally they would have awarded a penalty for that. Unsportsmanlike.
Comer in motion. And they hand off to McGriff. And McGriff. And another flag down. McGriff out to the 23-yard line. Gain of about 3. Make it 2 on the carry. Delay of game.
Holding.
Or holding.
Offensive holding.
Neil Judkins might have been the man guilty.
There he is. He tackled.
Mm-hmm.
He tackled number 92, yep. And the name was Reginald Franks. And
that's who it was. It was 60. Neil Judkins, sophomore from East Orange, New Jersey. So that moves the ball back inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
2nd and 22.
They have to go out to the 30 for a first down. Keep the ball on the ground, but they throw it this time. Here's Taylor! He dropped it. Good
great
play
hand.
action.
Troy Melvin, great left hand. He finally got one hand on it, Charlie.
That was great recovery because he was beaten.
Yes, he was. We won't get a chance to see the pattern. I don't think they had an isolation on Johnny Taylor, All-American candidate, but watch the hand here. Boom. He was beaten conventionally by at least about 3 yards. It may have been off to the races had he had a chance to catch it.
I'll tell you, this kid, Baker, does a great job of carrying out the fakes. And that's part of when you run a lot of this option, this wing-type formation, is how good your quarterback carries out the fakes. Well, Walker's in there now, the better passer. There he goes to the air. Taylor, he has it.
He is
20,
off to the races.
30.
He is off to the races.
Touchdown, Delaware State.
80 yards.
More than that, like 91. The ball was down at the 9-yard line.
Well, we didn't have an ISO a while ago on Troy Milburn. We certainly got him isolated here. He just runs by Troy Milburn, number 17. He was hoping for an underthrown ball again this time. Walker, the quarterback, gets the ball to John Taylor, and John Taylor just outlegs Milburn and Frankie Brown for a 91-yard touchdown.
That is not his longest touchdown reception of the year. The kick is up. His longest was 97 yards against St. Paul. So, it's now a 46-0 ball game with 9:28 left in the contest.
HBO brings home a November to remember, and you're holding the ticket that gets it all. High-flying adventure, mind-bending fantasy, and Oscar-winning performance. Spend a night with the stars, learn a lesson in survival, and have a devil of a good time at the movies.
Who are you?
George Burns meets his match
My God. Guess again.
in a deal to save a soul. So it's Burns
I want the kid back.
versus Burns.
You can have him back if you win.
In Oh God, You Devil. Then Bert and Clint team up for a comedy first,
Well, it's about time.
throwing punches like they were punchlines
I'm not disturbing you, am I? I got a situation here.
in City Heat. Diane Keaton just won the role of her life
Who do I play?
Yourself.
in a chilling theater of war.
They won't trust her until she's killed.
The Little Drummer Girl.
And who kills Charlie? Ask for them.
And where did this girl come from?
You know, I think I recognize the costume.
She's got a cousin in the business,
You can do the whole number, leap tall buildings with a single bound.
so it must be Supergirl. Then,
He who controls the spice controls the universe.
an epic war reveals a prophecy on the spice-bearing planet of Dune.
The sleeper has awakened.
This movie exclusive makes November a month to remember for an Oscar-winning performance by Sally Field.
I'm not selling my land, and I'm not giving my children over to anyone else to raise.
Places in the heart.
I don't care if it kills me. I'm not going to give up.
Then, HBO Premiere Films presents a lesson in survival. When a teacher and 9 children are stalked by terror. Rachel Ward stars in Fortress. As for originals, HBO's favorite traveling man is back in all-new spine-tingling episodes. Pick up The Hitchhiker, because when he appears, strange things happen. And they're still playing to win down at 1st and 10. But Sinnon's hard on winning, and some guys only read defense.
Here, now, today.
If you loved it before, you'll love it even more. Not necessarily the news. Bolder, brighter, better than ever. Oh, pardon, we almost forgot.
Don't use that word, pardon.
But how could we?
Well, hell, I don't know.
Rich Little and a night of 42 stars. It'll leave an impression. But that's not all, folks. There's a lot more to come in December, including another HBO movie exclusive. We've got it all, and you'll get it all when November brings it home to you.
Lem, we just finished talking about the throwing ability of Walker. Watch.
Here's Walker here again. First one a little bit underthrown. You say he had the better arm. He comes back, Charlie, shows everybody that he does. A 91-yard touchdown reception to John Taylor. That's his 3rd touchdown. One by end around. Another one by a touchdown.
35
quarterback Baker. And now he comes up with a 91-yard touchdown from Mike Walker. And he's had an incredible job on punt returns tonight as well.
Well, it was not 106 yards. It was actually 95-yard drive because they got the ball at the 5.
Typographical error when our computer's in there, man.
This one goes out of the end zone. We'll make sure they don't run it back.
First one tonight. He's hit as a conventional kicker. Most of the night he's been squib kicking the ball, keeping it away from Scott. Now with a comfortable lead of
46 to nothing.
He decides to kick it away.
No scoring in the third quarter. First score of the second half. Southern got so close. In fact, to the 21 of Delaware State, but still couldn't put any points on the board. They have the ball now and 80 yards away from pay dirt with 9:28 remaining.
3 of the last touchdowns have been scored by John Taylor.
Certainly have. Henry broke that up. 49-yard run.
Give me some of the meat, he said.
Here's Scott. Scott carries people to the 24 and a gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6.
Scott carried for 7. Initial hit was by Kopech.
9:05 left in the contest. Games like this, you just go back and hope it did not demoralize your team and that you can regroup, especially when you're Southern University.
That's the big thing about it. They've got to show some character.
Scott again. And Scott close to a first down, may have it at the 30-yard line.
Delaware State just been employing just good defense all evening. There's been some holes at the point of attack, but the defense is so quick, Charlie, and they read players so well in diagnosing them, they get there before that hole is open any length of time.
Eight and a half minutes left in this one. Charlie Neal and Lombardi with you here, and a lot of this crowd has already left. Not much to stick around for now with 8:15 remaining in the contest and a 46-0 lead by the opposition. Nice pass to Scott. Scott has a first down, and he's at the 45-yard line of Delaware State. Andre Williams, number 94, on the stop.
Well, Bennett is scrambling for his life. There's not a blitz on, just a good line done here by Delaware State.
Pressbury
puts the heat on him. He remains cool and poised and spots an open Scott downfield. Scott makes a nifty move here. Andre White comes in and puts the polishing hit off on him. However, after he's got crossed the 50-yard line, marked at the 44.5-yard line, 46.5.
And there's a player shaken up for Delaware State. He's down at the 45-yard line. We've not been able to ascertain who it is right now. But it was a good pass play by Scott. Well, when the game gets bored on the field and dull,
fans
start in the stands. But they're not going to let it carry on for long.
Cooler heads prevail, especially since those men came up with those nightsticks.
Yeah, they got those batteries in them.
Automatic blackjack. Sound like Billy Stewart on your head.
7:51 remaining in the contest. Player still down at the 45-yard line. With all the open seats here, you would think that two guys could get far enough apart they wouldn't have to go to this.
Like a compromise.
Don't forget, at the end of the night's contest, Lem and I will be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player, and along with that selection, we'll select a player from each team. It'll be hard to pick one from Southern, I'll tell you tonight, but $500 in scholarship money will be awarded to the school in that player's name. You look at some of the dancing dolls from Southern University. I want to remind our viewers that Video Soul has moved. That's right. Not from BT, but just to a new time. Now join host Donnie Simpson at 1 and 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the best in urban contemporary music. Just watch Video Soul at 1 to 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, only on BET. And the man being carried off, number 57, is a guy they can ill afford to lose. He is their big play man. Dan Coppage, the linebacker, who has had one whale of a ball game tonight.
No question about that, Charlie. Had not John Taylor had the game he had, I was going to vote for Coppage for MVP.
Bennett, with room, he has room to run.
Tight end.
Can't get the block. And he gets it complete to Byron Horton. And Horton has it down at the 36-yard line. Make that the 26-yard line.
No flag.
His pass was complete to Horton.
Bennett was looking for a block. He did have running room, but he thought, had a second thought about that running.
Yes, he did. He
We
did
saw
a
this
good
tight
job
end.
here. Number 41. Brent Washington did a great job. I mean, Haynes did a great job of giving him a chance to get outside and buy extra time to throw the ball downfield to Horton for first down balls at the 26-yard line.
Bennett looking, throws incomplete. A little bit too far for Washington.
Farrington.
Make that Farrington Johnson, rather. Marlon Blunt has come into the lineup. Basically,
defensive player?
No, that's Michael Blunt's the brother. Marlon Blunt came in and ran a pattern. Some extra receivers back there. Scott has been maybe run too much tonight. Throws, Cornell Swain's out there. Good battle defensively. Won by Keith Harris.
Well, the young man that set up the last touchdown by way of the interception. Keith Harris covering one-on-one on Swain. Swain tries to sell him an inside move, a post. He didn't go for it. Maintained good cushion, a 3-yard cushion, and has the presence in mind to pop the ball out of the hands of the intended receiver, Cornell Swain. 3rd down and 10.
6:54 left in the contest. The ball at the 27-yard line of Delaware State. 3rd down. And it's Farrington Johnson, quick feet, still on his feet. And Farrington is down at the 7. But they really had the pressure on the quarterback, Bennett.
Nifty move here by Johnson. Number 2 is in there, Willie Shepard. Almost in a prevent defensive situation. You see him trying to close now. He's coming over from the safety position. He's juked here by Johnson. Finally, Johnson is ripped down by number 58, linebacker Todd Drew.
Well, there's Farrington Johnson's stats tonight. Came into the game with 6 receptions, 112 yards. Had 3 last week against Tennessee State for 38 yards. There is A.J. Martin was wide open on the outside move. The receiver slipped down in the middle. He was really looking for Byron Horton. Horton trying to make an inside move, and Cornell Swain shows all the frustration right now of the Southern University team tonight.
It looked like they were trying to run a pick pattern, and the defensive back did a good job of clogging it up. Here's Swain looking now to go inside, where Horton will be coming outside from. Here it is. Boom! Good job by the defensive back, covering 2 receivers.
They picked each other.
Yes, good job. Fine job by the defensive back.
It is 4th down. I'm sorry, make that 2nd down. I said 4th. He was in the end zone and didn't know it. Swain, the 8-yard line. So the shutout is averted. Swain's 6th touchdown reception of the year.
Well, here it is again. Michael Cherry, the defensive back, number 5, is playing him too far off with only such a short distance to go. He should really be in a bump and run situation. There's no way to really cover that. Good play, good heads-up play by Irwin Bennett, the quarterback. Good reception, good catch for the touchdown, Cornell Swain. I'm sure they're going for 2.
They certainly are. 2-point conversion.
pattern of Swain.
And it is a flag is down.
Well, it's either on Swain for pushing off or either Keith Harris.
It's against Keith Harris.
For interference.
So they'll get another chance. 6:09 remaining.
One of the most prevalent patterns that's going to be thrown on a defensive back this close. Man, should have been caught. Hit a big piece of his hand, almost bobbled it, almost came up with his hand. Well, they get another opportunity at it. 6 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the contest.
It's an 80-yard drive they capped there.
Most convincing drive all evening.
Bennett throws, and they get it with Byron Horton, the tight end. Or is that Theron Hayes?
Theron Hayes.
41. Coming out of the backfield, so it's a 2-point conversion. And it's 46-8. As you look at it once again.
Here it is again. Almost that same type of pattern that was knocked off previous to the touchdown by Swain and Horton. Get a chance to see it again. Bennett caps the drive with a touchdown. Now he comes back with a point after touchdown and converts to 2 points.
Oh, and 6:09, the time remaining in the contest as you look at the barefooted kicker. Thomas Rout for Southern University, a junior from Houston, Texas. As we look at that last scoring drive, that was an 80-yard drive, actually. But that drive started at their own 20-yard line. As you look at the return man for Delaware State, that is Curtis Trott, number 21. Here's Rout's kick.
Rout to Trout.
At the 2, Trott up the gap and out to the 22. 23-yard line. Fans enjoying themselves along with the dancing dolls. I'll tell you, they look good down there. We need to see a little more of them.
Sherelle, they look good to me.
Well, the band is causing the quarterback, which is Kevin Samuels, who has just come on, number 11. He is a 6'1", 185 senior from Camden, New Jersey in the lineup now at quarterback. Not seen much action this year.
Well, you can see why, playing behind 2 outstanding quarterbacks, and Mike Walker and Jerome Baker, who's both come in and directed fine scoring attacks for Delaware State University.
Samuels again, hands off. You see a lot of new faces in the lineup now for Delaware State. This is Patrick Casey, who had just checked into the lineup. And there's an injured player down on the field for Southern University. That's Gus Miles, the nose guard, a freshman from
Gus is from
Marrero, Louisiana.
Certainly is.
5:16 remaining in the contest. They tend to Gus Miles at the 25-yard line. It is 3rd down and 9 yards to go. I want to remind our viewers to join host Alvin Jones for a ride on a musical rainbow of video colors. Watch Video Vibrations coming your way exclusively on BET.
Black Entertainment TV.
They're still tending to Gus Miles down there. As I mentioned earlier that Southern was beset with a host of injuries this year. Michael Roach, we talked to him before the game. He's on crutches. He went out with a knee earlier this year. Donald Smith, Darrell Garner, Mark Aguilar. They just got Anthony Hudson back. They also just got Jeff Alexander back. But as you look at Gus Miles.
Miles was shaken up on the last play.
He comes off under his own power. But it is a 3rd down and 9. Make it for Delaware State.
Charlie mentioned most of the front liners are out of the ball game now. And
look here. Some of the front liners are out.
Yeah.
McGriff, who has played some.
Just slipped the front liner back in, huh?
Just picked up a 1st down after the 37-yard line.
Good job by the offensive line. You see 65 pulling out to make the trap. Big Jack Downs. Ball's open a hole there for McGriff. McGriff ekes it out. Cross the 35-yard line, mark to the 37, 1st and 10.
4:39 left in the contest. Flag is down. Again, this is Pat Casey on the carry.
Casey carried the ball for Delaware, but there's a penalty mark on the play.
Penalty flag down.
Samuels is in
Scoreboard indicating the time remaining.
Delaware State. Illegal procedure penalty against Delaware, 5 yards, so it's now 1st.
So it's a penalty against Delaware State, marking the ball back to the 32-yard line. 4:28 remaining. 1st and 15. And off straight up the middle. And a loss of about a yard or 2.
3, 6, 7 defensive players around the ball. You want to wonder why weren't they like that all afternoon?
McGriff again on the carry.
Good surge, good stop by the defense. Loss of about 4 yards.
It'll be 2nd down. And make it about 16 as the clock continues to run. Under 4 minutes to play. 3:50 to be exact. This time they go to the right side with Curtis Trott. And Trott loses some more yards.
Trott carried
Chris Scott on the stop.
He was stopped by Chris Scott of 7.
3rd down. Facing them.
Great job by Chris, guy who plays football from sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone.
And he's just a freshman. Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
3 more years.
2nd leading tackler on the team.
3 more years.
Actually, he's a redshirt freshman. 4th down. No gain on the play, but the clock has been the friend of Delaware State a long time. At halftime, they were their friend. 39-0.
It was.
So Wheeler will come on to do the punting. With 2:48 remaining, the clock continuing to run.
Skyrocketed in these punts.
Certainly has.
This one doesn't turn over for him, but it takes a Delaware State bounce.
Frankie Brown can't get to it, and it bounces inside the 5-yard line. It'll be down to the 3.
When it goes against you, it goes against you.
Timeout on the field. 2:33 remaining in the contest.
Give me a light. Go! Bud Light. If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light.
Bud Light. So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Thank you.
Because everything else is just a light.
Kibbles and bits, kibbles and bits. I really got me some kibbles and bits. Kibbles and bits.
Now, Baby's got his own special formula.
Kibbles and bits.
Puppy formula Kibbles and Bits. With hard, crunchy bits and tender, chewy bits.
I got me more kibbles and bits.
Puppy formula Kibbles and Bits. Every bit better for Baby.
And now your puppy can have his own pacifier. Free in specially marked bags of puppy.
Kibbles and bits.
Hi, I'm Donnie Simpson, inviting you to join me for Video Soul this Monday. We're going to be joined on Monday by one of the most powerful voices in music today, Jennifer Holliday. Video Soul will also have new videos from Fishbone. We'll have the Miami Sound Machine, Sun City, and much more. And throughout the week, look for new videos from Curtis Blow, Sting, the Fat Boys, the Boogie Boys, and Al Jarreau. So I'll see you Monday for the next Video Soul at 1 at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on DET.
BET Sports presents Black College football like you've never seen it before.
Touchdown! The kick is blocked. Well, it's been a real barn burner, Lim. 2:33 remaining, and it's a 46-8 score.
A cliffhanger. Well, Southern did get on the board to avert the shutout, which isn't a lot of consolation.
Scott?
Safety?
Nope, got it out. Just got it out. Got it out to the 1-foot line, but he lost 2 yards.
Big candy man.
The candy man.
Yeah.
And he can. Bench press is about 500.
So he'll do what he wants to do.
Bertram Choos had a fine game defensively for the Hornets of Delaware State, along with his head coach, Bill Collick, who's done a fine job as first-year head coach. Delaware State was offside, so they were penalized 5 yards. The ball brought out to the 8-yard line. It's 1st and 5 now.
1st and 5, 7.
Bertram Choo, another guy who had a strong role for that MVP candidate.
Back to pass is Bennett throwing long. Farrington Johnson's out there. He can't get to it. Defensively being covered by Joe Burton, the junior from Newcastle, Delaware. First-team all-conference player.
We'll get a chance to see Farrington again, but a linebacker put a great deal of pressure on Bennett. Smacked Bennett just as we released the ball. Here's Farrington running a little rankle move on the defensive back that's covering, and that's in the name of Willie Shepard. Dual purpose defensive back.
Number 2, I thought it was rather than 7, yes. And they call interference against Delaware State.
Jaguars from the Jaguar 22.
And Bennett, is that Bennett or Johnson? Farrington Johnson a little slow getting up downfield when he went down in an attempt to catch that pass.
Feisty little guy, I tell you.
Certainly is. He's going to be a good one. They list him as 6 feet, 180 pounds. I question that size-wise, but I'll tell you, he's going to be a good one for him. A sophomore out of Winsboro, Louisiana. It is 1st and 10. Southern University, 2:05 left in the contest. Bennett to pass. Under pressure.
Face mask.
And the flags fly. Plenty of face masks that time. Joe Chavis, a freshman from Fort Pierce, Florida. Believe it or not, Bennett is also from Fort Pierce. They know each other very well.
Neighborhood rivalry, huh? Oh, there it is. That's going to be a flagrant face mask, too. Inadvertently, he grabbed it, but again, the intent in which he was flung to the ground by Joseph Chavis will give it a flagrant.
They tried to recruit Chavis at Southern University because Coach Bennett, the quarterback coach, who was also taught and coached high school football in Fort Pierce, has a lot of ties down there, but Chavis chose to go to Delaware State.
Well, he made a wise decision according to tonight's outcome.
I'm sure Bennett didn't like the fact that he went there right on that play.
No way.
A minute 39 remaining. Pass out in the flat. Connell Swain looking for some blockers. Out of bounds at the 49-yard line. He ran about 37 miles. First down.
He could have had something there. If they'd have sealed off 2 more men there. He had reversed the field completely and picked up a convoy of blockers. Got enough, about 12 yards on the reception for first down. Ball is at the 49.5-yard line of Delaware State.
A minute 25 remaining. Timeout, Southern University. 46-8's the score. Irvin Bennett who came on in relief of Algie Tapp, who played the whole first half but did not have that good of a game. Wasn't even throwing that well. Broadcast cable rights to this contest has been presented to Black Entertainment Television by Southern University. Any reproduction or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Southern University and BET is strictly prohibited. The announcers are paid and selected by BET.
The fair will be held in the Cotillion Ballroom of the Smith Brown Union Building.
Canal Swain, Irvin Bennett. I want to remind our viewers and ask you to give us 2 minutes and we'll give you the news. Front page, the 2-minute news capsule that gives you the day's relevant news. BET's front page coming your way only on BET. The score, 46-8. Delaware State has scored more points this year, 51 to be exact. Good defense at the last minute by number 25 for Delaware State, and that is James Lee. And the receiver, the intended receiver, is down in the end zone. I believe it was Brent Washington. Let me see.
Here's Washington again, Charlie. He's hurting.
Bennett's pass intended for Brent Washington was incomplete. Defending for Delaware was Lee.
I believe that's 46, Brent Washington. It is.
And Reese.
Now let's look at why he is down. What happened at the end of the play?
Here's the ending of it.
Takes a real awkward fall. Look at that.
Knee hypoextended right there.
Oh, yes.
Both knees are hypoextended.
It was really bent around, or either the ankle. Really took a nasty fall there. That's what they're working on, the ankle. You can see the agony. There's a timeout on the field. 1:19 remaining in the contest. 46-8 is the score.
A fine wine is a perfect balancing of taste. So is a fine dinner. Le Menu. Each Le Menu has 3 carefully orchestrated foods, like beef sirloin tips in mushroom and wine gravy, seasoned O'Brien potatoes, and broccoli with cheddar cheese sauce. Le Menu frozen dinners from Swanson. So extraordinary, you'd dare serve them with a vintage wine.
This is Jeffrey. He's 12 years old. Since he was a baby, he's been living in 5 different foster homes. And while all his foster parents give him love and care, they haven't been able to give Jeffrey what he wants most, a home for keeps. At the National Adoption Exchange, we bring families together with special children like Jeffrey to share a home and love. If there's a place in your heart or your home for a special child, contact us. We bring special people together.
Please.
It is second down, 10 at the 49 of Delaware State. Southern. Screen, and it's read immediately by Chu as the screen pass went to Marlon Blunt, number 26. Second down, they lost a couple. If we can, we'd like to see the end of that play. Once again, Brent Washington, it was his left ankle as he went down. Watch the ankle being twisted.
It's underneath Lee's body. Lee rolls over on it and then rolls back over with Washington.
And they're working on him on the sideline. Third down now, 12 yards to go. Bennett back to pass. Throws. He has it complete, and the man fell down. And that completion went to Maurice Hurst, number 31. And it's a 4th down. He had to come back a long way for the ball. And number 80 is Craig Davis, a freshman from New Orleans. He's hurting right now.
Cost the game.
Reserve tight end.
Cost the game for Southern more ways than one, huh?
21 seconds left.
Maurice Hurst.
for Hurst, that was his first reception of the year. Craig Davis, who's in there, who backs up Byron Horton at the tight end spot. A little slow getting up. But it'll bring up a 4th down with 21 seconds left in the contest. Clock is running again. Down to 14 seconds, maybe the last play of the game. Bennett being chased. The clock is down to 0. He throws. Intercepted. And it's intercepted by Joe Burton as the game comes to an end. The final score, 46-8. And it's Delaware State with the long travel from Dover, Delaware to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And Coach Joe Collick coming out on top. The final score, 46-8. Bill Collick, his 7th win as in his first year as head coach. He is now 7-2. Southern, meanwhile, falls to a record of 5-4. It is not a conference game, but Southern only has 1 conference game remaining. As you know, at the end of each contest, we present our Budweiser Most Valuable Player awards, and for Delaware State, it goes to split-end John Taylor. 2 receptions, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 a 91-yarder. He also had 1 run on an end around for 7 yards and a touchdown for the losing Southern University Jaguars linebacker Chris Scott. Next week, Lim and I will be in Greensboro, North Carolina. It'll be North Carolina A&T hosting North Carolina Central University. I'd like to thank some people who made our job a little easier. Southern University President Dr. Jeffrey Wissington, Athletic Director Dr. Richard Hill, Sports Information Director Kevin O'Keefe, Delaware State College President Dr. Luna Michoud, Athletic Director Nelson Townsend, and Sports Information Director Maxine Lewis, and a fine job on stats from Mark West. For Lynn Barney, the entire BET sports staff, this is Charlie Neal saying so long from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The final score, Southern University 46 and Delaware State 8.